CRIMEZ.
Like Babylon and generation B8 with clear sense, uncommon, can you see straight? Freeze frames by the blocks in the deep state, deep fake DNA. I'm mobbing with the think tank. You on the block with the guards where the beats done. What makes it loud for a law, get your beat stung. Freeze frame, make it hard for bombers roll through. That hating energy get barbecue beef bump. You work a third every day to get the shame. Yeah, we got just like the murderers and rapists that you claim. So we burn a little sage, then we raid in your spot.
Get down and get your motherfucking ass down. What that motherfucking over there? Fuck, nigga.
Pull crime, take a crime, yo crime, show crime, flow crime, take crime, pull crime. Said he pull crime, yo crime, slow crime, slow crime, kill crime, pull crime. Said he pull crime, yo crime, slow crime, flow crime, take crime. So why you tryna give me occupation? My nigga, I ain't hate, nah. And my nigga, I ain't lazy. But I know hoagies and some cold-blooded killers, rape and thieves. So why should I be patient?
I said he pull crime, pull crime, pull crime, show crime, show crime, pull crime, pull crime. Said he pull crime, pull crime, pull crime, show crime, show crime, pull crime, pull crime. Said he pull crime, pull crime, pull crime, show crime, show crime, pull crime, pull crime. Said he pull crime, pull crime, pull crime, show crime, show crime, pull crime, pull crime. And my nigga, I ain't hating. And my nigga, I ain't lazy. But I know everything that they got come from straight. So why you tryna get that occupation? My nigga, I ain't hating. Nah. And my nigga, I ain't lazy. But I know homies and some cold-blooded killers, rape and thieves. So why should I be paid?
Warning. The Federal Communications Commission has determined the following content to be emotionally harmful. Snowflakes should not view this content under any circumstances, even if supervised by a G.I. Joe, Navy SEALs, Army vet, or someone with good common sense. The views and opinions expressed, including the depictions of persons of color, corrupt politicians, white people with or without a tan, haters, who have yet to brush their teeth typing angrily in the comment section with hot breath syndrome, do not reflect any official policy or position of the U.S. government. This program contains graphic language, dark comedy, unique intelligence, creativity, a high credit score, and high blood pressure when triggered. This program has also been accused of racism, violence, misogyny, mansogyny, feminism, MGTOWism, defacement of celebrities, and of course, being a bully. Welcome to Thought Crimes.
What's up? Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Thought Crimes. This is your girl, Sincere, and I'm here with...
Hey, good morning, everybody. This is your man, P. Solo, Prince Solomon, back in the building again. We are on deck. Good morning, good Monday morning, folks. I hope you guys are doing good with yourselves as you are... Or some of you all probably have gotten off of work. Y'all know they put all of the black folks on the night shift. You say, hey, man, with this job, I'm in school right now. I cannot get on a night shift. And you know what he did when he looked at you? Sure, absolutely. Hey, you're starting on the third shift. You're starting on graveyard shift. You think you can do that for us? So shouts out to you all in the chat. Who else we got here? We got Big 504 Scoop on deck. OVO ZZ. I know you was at the concert last night. Shouts out to OVO ZZ. She was at the Jay-Z concert the third night. She loves some Jay-Z. Who else we got? We got Debo on deck. We got Chubbs in the building. Chubbs up, man. Yeah, Chubbs, right? Who else we got? We got Pharrell. Let me see. We got Victory Status is in the building. So you guys know what time it is, man. There's a lot of stuff going on in the news. Lindsey Graham is dead. They thought Mitch McConnell was dead. Like Tyler, the Creator, said, they thought he was dead. Now he's back. He's ready to cause havoc from the hospital bed. And then, of course, last night, Jay-Z's third night, we're going to get into that. There's some wild details there. But apparently some folks was trying to jump the gate. You know, somebody triggered some stuff.
There was a security risk.
Security risk. The ticket scanners got jammed. All right, it looks like the nerds was out there hacking. Was Jay-Z sabotaged? Let's talk about it, right? We got to talk about that. Was Jay-Z sabotaged? Right? Did the nerds say, hey, man, we tired of you?
Yes, good morning, everyone. Be happy, have fun. Don't be so serious. Take Jay-Z dick out your mouth, take Drake dick out your mouth, and so on and so forth. Have some fun. Some people are already, have their cheeks all clenched up.
Yes.
It's not that deep.
It's not that mob deep, all right? Or as Flex said, what do you say, knob deep? But anyway, yeah, there seems to be some things that was taking place now. How can we phrase this? Because it's going to be a messy week, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I know Space Ghost. Shouts out to the homie Space Ghost. Y'all know that's one of my favorite shows, right?
Really funny show.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, see, y'all know how Sin is. She's a Jersey girl. Early
Jay,
in the morning.
I gotta say
but
it.
I always tell Sin, I said, love, we are on YouTube.
I know.
We're on YouTube, beautiful.
I know,
and
but
I want you to use that beautiful, explicit mouth for Patreon.
I get it, but I'm just saying, like
you
early.
know it.
Like early in the morning,
like legends in the YouTube space,
being very, so serious about any of these rappers is like draining their energy. It's like
they ain't
just
got no civil rights leaders. What you talking about? That's all they know.
People to fucking loosen up.
What do some of the guys say? Man, it's like they were a father to me. What did T Grizzly say? T Grizzly said he looked up to Jeezy. All right, and I like a lot of T Grizzly shit, but man, T Grizzly was talking about how much he looked up to Jeezy. He admired the guy, and I was like, damn, T. Like, I like the nigga's music, but I ain't never looked up to no young Jeezy. But I thought that I had every mixtape. I was looking for every Jeezy feature. But if I had met Jeezy in the club and he would have been like, yo, what's up? And he would have been ice cold, like I know he is with his moniker called the Snowman, man, I wouldn't have cried. So for a lot of these people out here, the rappers are their civil rights leaders.
Yeah, I do want to say that we have conversations that we're going to have also with PFG. We did a review of Never Say Die.
Love that album. That was nice.
We enjoyed it.
Yeah,
we
PFG.
have a whole 2-hour conversation and review on it.
So y'all doing music reviews or what?
J. Cole produced it and also featured on it, and some of the clips will be here on YouTube for everyone, but the whole 2-hour visual podcast is going to be exclusively on the Patreon. Also, Mr. Brown, who was traded from Celtics over to Philly. I just want to also the 76ers.
Sent him to Philly.
Yeah, they sent him to Philly 76ers.
All right then.
Jaylen Brown, I had to give him so much credit when he was talking about the private equity firms and also when it comes to ownership and athletes.
They all in the NBA.
That is something that we also going to have further down
Shouts out to Jaylen Brown.
on the Patreon and talk about that, because now you know why Stephen A. Smith went after him, because his bosses basically said, that nigga talking too much, get at him, because the type of stuff that Jaylen Brown is talking about is the type of things that would make the white bosses go and tell Stephen A. Smith, you're going to have to deal with this and handle this. We're also going to be talking about the civil war in the Democratic Party between Bernie Sanders and also Hillary Clinton. I know y'all haven't seen her for a while. Y'all think, she has lost power, but she is fighting back and trying to get back into the heart of the Democratic Party. So you have Bernie and you also have Hillary going at it, and we're going to tell y'all how a little bit later in the show. But of course,
Hillary is doing mind control. That's what she's trying to get into their minds. And if you don't see that Scorpio out there, she doing something behind the scenes, allegedly. But yeah, so no, absolutely, there is a fight going on with the Dems. But say you was continuing on, you was like, we're gonna get to the action though. We're gonna get to the cookout.
The hip hop stuff is what people want to.
Let's get to the music. Let's get to the money.
I saw a lot of the show on X with clips and stuff like that. To me, still the best performance was actually between Nas and Jay-Z. Actually, how they performed on stage together actually made me be like, it would be cool to see, Nas' rendition of, Reasonable Doubt, or to see Jay-Z do his own rendition of Illmatic or some of the other later albums that Nas did. I thought it was pretty good. And I wish the energy would have stayed more in that space. I didn't like the Kaepernick thing. I thought the Kaepernick part was corny from Jay-Z. I just don't think it's a good look. At the end of the day,
he took the money. I don't blame him.
At the end of the day, whether people feel Cap took the money allegedly or didn't take the money allegedly, or whether you think he's a corporate activist, at the end of the day, Donald Trump, a sitting president, still got him fired. He still interfered with his bargaining rights. He still interfered with his job. And he told the owners, get that son of a bitch off the field right now. Get him fired. Get him out of the NFL. So at the end of the day, that is still a truth. That is just universal. And Kaepernick did put everything on the line, and he did lose his job, even though he wanted to stay within the NFL and still be a quarterback. And then also, Prince did a great job a couple of days ago breaking down Kaepernick and Jay-Z. To me, that was the biggest L out of all the 3 days, was just that particular part. I think everything else was mostly fine with the exception of the delay that took place yesterday on Sunday night. It seems like there was some more things that were supposed to happen that did not happen. Maybe some more performances or some more surprises. But, they already got fined because it was like they were supposed to start at 8 o'clock. And then it was delayed all the way to midnight. So, that was a problem for a lot of people.
Well, okay, so let's get into it, right? Now, I think with the freestyle, this was on night one. So I actually think night one, and even though there was a delay, I would say night three were the stronger nights. All right? And of course, when Nas came out with the Mets hat and everything, and they were trading off on tracks with each other. You know what's crazy about, artists? Sometimes the artists early on that have the bigger beefs with each other, they're the ones that really sound the dopest together. It was like when somebody, I can't remember who asked the question about Tupac and Biggie. They said, what's an opinion about Tupac and Biggie? And I had retweeted the guy. I said they sounded better together. My personal opinion. I think Tupac and Biggie sounded way better together than they did going against each other, right?
I agree.
Now, there's some guys that I do think they need to break up. Break this shit up. This music is garbage, right?
Like who? Who do you personally feel like they get too much time together? You be honest.
Well, I don't.
You feel I'm putting you on the spot?
No, it's not that you're putting me on the spot, but I'm trying to see, do I want to take the mind of a white supremacist right now? I'll get back to that. I'll have some options for you because I do got a couple of them that, when they get together, I'm like, this is just boring, right? But I think Nas and Jay-Z sounded very well together. I think the flip on each other's tracks was nice. The fact that they
playing
were using
each other's hype man.
Yeah, I thought that was real clean. Let me see what else. I think I can't really remember what went on with night two. Who came out for night two?
I believe it was Eminem, right?
Oh yeah.
Eminem came out for night two.
He did the spaghetti record.
Lose Yourself.
Yeah. Mom, spaghetti.
Jay-Z and them, they did Renegade and all that. Yeah.
Renegade is a classic track. All right. So remember, guys, we said that there was supposed to be something. Again, TC, we're just saying some things.
We said like some type of delay.
Something was supposed to take place.
At first, we thought the delay would be Milk Dud head Dame Dash, but there's some other stuff there. Allegedly, he got cold feet when it came to whatever he was up to.
But there was supposed to be something that was going to be revealed, and then you guys saw before night three got started, Lenny S was talking on IG once again. He said tonight is about to get real disrespectful. I'm like, wait a minute. We're celebrating just the culture here. What is going to be disrespectful unless you guys are about to call somebody out? And then there was a delay.
A 4-hour delay, right?
A 4-hour delay. Apparently, the crypto hackers got a hold to Jay-Z's bank account and they stopped the show. So then we watched the rest of it. We was like, all right, what was Lenny S talking about? There's nothing going on here. And then Pharrell said on stage, when the bear cuts his hair, when the alligator brushes his teeth, all right? When the octopus gets his nails done, you know it's time to go to war. And he says, and I quote, I can't wait for you to kill them niggas, and you know who I'm talking about. And I said, wait a minute.
Well, later in the show, we're going to have people call in and ask y'all who y'all think Pharrell is talking about when he said, I can't wait till you kill them niggas.
Come on.
And we at war.
Yeah, because I was thinking, I said,
we at war with who?
I said, well, Streets is watching Jay is on stage. He got the gear on. He went in the closet and he got the gear down, right? But I said to myself, but wait a minute, Charlemagne was pimping academics. Because he was saying that there was nothing going on. And then Pharrell Williams comes outside and says, I can't wait for you to kill them niggas. And you know who I'm talking about.
See, all jokes aside with the academics and Charlemagne conversation.
With that IKEA set? Hey, what the hell was up with that George Jetson furniture?
I think academics let his side down.
He did.
It was too much speculation. And when you're like, having fun on your own platform, you could do those things.
You can stay in your zone.
There were actually factual things that he could have brought up, like Rock Nation's relationship with Live Nation and what's going on with Live Nation right now and Michael Rapino. He could have brought up Desiree Perez's relationship with the Trump family, even though I know academics has a relationship with, interviewing Trump's son and all that. But all the hypocrisies that could have been brought up, all the things that were actually factual, forget all the speculative stuff that could have been brought up, he didn't do any of it. Like when you go into somebody else's environment, you have to become as straight-laced as possible.
You got to clean it up.
You bring your facts. Even if you have one good punch, it's best to stick to that.
Deontay Wilder.
Than to be all over the place and making yourself look like you're just a paranoid idiot. Yeah. Which is the whole point of what Charlemagne was doing, is to walk academics down and to make him look like a paranoid idiot. First of all, everybody knows, because this is like cut the cap. Y'all saw the trailer and what we showed y'all with Tommy, Dorfman, and
shouts out to Tommy Dorfman,
and how he just eloquently broke down Michael Rapino. He had all his facts together. He talked about how Live Nation and Rock Nation, their partnership. He talked about what's going on in the industry, how a lot of people who own venues and DJs and everybody are being harmed by Live Nation. Yes. And it's like it was just very simple. Don't be emotional. We already know that you're pro Drake, just like everybody know that Charlemagne is pro Jay-Z. And also he didn't even exploit the moment when Charlemagne said, I'm the one who snitched on Meek Mill. And I was like, oh, so that's rap behavior. I'm the one who snitched on Meek Mill and gave Drake what he needed, the weapons he needed to get rid of Meek Mill in that moment. Also, by the way, that led to a ripple effect when Charlemagne snitched. It led to, Quentin Miller losing a foot. It led to him getting jumped by Meek Mill and crew because Meek Mill was so pissed off. So I just found it interesting. Like every loophole and mistake that Charlemagne made, he didn't get in the moment. Now people are trying to get it later, but that's why
it's too late.
It's important when you're actually there to be able to have all your points ready.
What did Kendrick say on that Super Bowl commercial? No round twos. And on top of that, I'm going to get to the super chat. Shouts out to Ariel. Y'all, it's hard to box a nigga when you in love with him.
Either the idol thing.
All right, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, it was a lot of congratulating. I mean, academics was giving Charlemagne the victory speech in the middle of the debate. He said, come on, Charlotte, you know you smart. I said, I thought this was a debate. I said, what are you doing? You massaging his shoulders.
He massaging his nuts. And also, like,
right?
when he said he didn't want to see somebody's life destroyed, even though he said, I just didn't like Drake's music, but I didn't have no issue with him as a person. Well, the decision you made, somebody's life was going to get destroyed no matter what.
Don't matter.
You destroyed Quentin Miller's life.
Well, yeah,
So,
a lot of industry niggas got on there with Quentin Miller. Yeah, Meek Mill beating them up at a Payless. All right, shouts out to Ariel Smoke. These old YNs need to take some Benadryl and go to, go to bed. I guess you were saying go to bed. Shouts out to, we appreciate you so much. Thank you, player. Yeah, look, realistically, I'm going to tell you something, but what did I tell y'all? And at the time, Cindy, this was one of the streams you wasn't there for. But I told the public, I said academics shouldn't take that debate with Charlemagne. He's going to lose it. I'm going to tell you why.
Not
he just don't.
You're ready to stand on your own and do what you need to do.
I didn't give academics the benefit of the doubt.
Because they mocked him.
All right.
Technically, what Pharrell did, that was mocking him on stage, because Pharrell and them still going to do what they're going to do.
Well, it's kind of going counter narrative.
They're at war.
Yeah, they just said they was at war, but Charlemagne eventually he spun academics in a different direction, where academics was like, oh, dude, I guess there isn't no war. You get what I'm saying? But it's like I say all the time, you got to go in there and have your debate. You got to go in there and have a boxing match, and it made academics look inexperienced. It made him look like a paranoid conspiracy theorist out there. It made him look like he was just an undeveloped baby. All right. And so when we watched the third night on stage, Pharrell Williams slid out there with no skateboard because Lupe was holding it. He slid out there and said Jay-Z is going to war right now.
Yeah, just like with the crisis intake calls, he should have explained what it was and explained that is not the real meat of it. Because, of course, with the intake crisis calls, you cannot prove that anybody did anything unless an actual victim come out and there's an investigation done. None of that happened. So it could have been prank calls in 2019. But the Jess Staley thing, where you could have just simply asked a question, look, why would Jess Staley even reference Jay-Z about him paying off activists? Like, it's just certain things that, again, when you're going in that arena, it's just certain things that you are supposed to do, and he just didn't do it.
Did you see Charlemagne's greasy face?
It was extra oily that
nigga knew. He knew he said he already knew. He's like, I got this shit in the bag.
I saw the cocoa butter on, and he had a lot of grease on his face. Charlemagne had a lot of grease in that
nigga
conversation.
had Johnson & Johnson on his face. That nigga knew from the very opening, this gonna be nothing. Charlemagne went to the restroom and sat down and walked a hamster down. Because
Charlemagne's whole point was to try to make academics and Drake look paranoid. But you could also easily do the same thing with Jay-Z and Charlemagne as well. Like, what makes your points any more valid about being sabotaged and being attacked versus academics and Drake, which some people believe that academics is a baby version of Charlemagne, and that Drake is supposed to be the new Jay-Z. So
it is. I told you it's the new generation versus the old generation.
Yeah,
that's really what it is. It's the pigs, brother.
And there's so many things to cook on, like even talking about venture capitalists and all that other stuff, and dark money and
venture capitalists. Academics ain't going in that space.
First of all, he should have had an iPad ready with articles and sources.
Should have had Cliff Notes. No, like academics came there with nothing in his head. Charlemagne walked in there. As soon as I saw that piece of paper that Charlemagne ripped out of a book, I said, this nigga lost. But I already knew that. I told y'all academics wasn't going to do well in that situation because he really looks up to Charlemagne. And that's his prerogative, Bobby Brown, right? But
that's the danger
of having idols.
Yeah, in occultism, it says you shouldn't have any idols. Yeah. Because when you worship somebody, you're giving them power over self. Yeah. You can like people, people get mad at Thought Crimes all the time because I like some of these people.
Your artwork.
But I don't worship none of them. I would have never, I'm like, I like these songs from Jay-Z or Drake or Kendrick or Cole, but to Ye, to worship. That's why Ye be screaming at people all day, because people be worshiping him. I
Ye do be walking on people's fingers. That nigga walking on y'all fingers. Like, I like a lot of these rappers' artwork, you know, but come on, bro. All right? Niggas bleed just like us. You know, that's how I feel. And, you know, in that moment, I'm going to tell y'all something real quick because I don't know. At first, I was like, man, maybe we should just really break that down, right? I actually watched about an hour of the debate with Charlemagne and DJ Academics. I think I'm going to finish the rest of it. But I did say one thing. I said it is a turning point and an opportunity and a turning point in DJ Academics' career if he smoked on a Charla pack.
Even if it was even.
All right? If he broke it even like you said, or if he slid Charlemagne intellectually across the floor like a dirty mop, it would have put him in prime position moving forward for rap media. I'm just saying for rap media because Academics is rap media. I know people arguing about the hip hop stuff, but I think he's rap media. And so in that opportunity, you know, he kind of folded like a church chair. But I knew that was going to be the case because, you know, really when it came to going at Charlemagne, Academics hesitates a lot. You know,
and he's supposed to be the leader of his crew. Like you got to be the leader of your crew because if Jay-Z feels somebody is a threat, if he feels like
he's knocking heads off,
he can't make a deal, or somebody, if he feels there's still a problem, he's gonna make a move and think about his people. He ain't gonna care about you know, the opposition. So you know,
Jay-Z like Nas, he still dropped Takeover,
and you know, Nas liked things about Jay-Z, and he still dropped Ether.
So, you know, it was all of this, you know, will they, won't they thing, you know. So, yeah, I saw that. I saw the look on Charlemagne's face that he knew he was going to rap him. Even look how he, like, there were little things that Charlemagne was doing that he said like this. And he said, you know, people like, yo, why you still fuck with Act? He said, well, the Act y'all see on the stream is not the real Act. Act is acting. I know the real Act behind the scenes, and he's not even like that. And that went right over Academics' head.
He looked what Charlemagne did is he took the number one media person in hip hop, which Academics is. You know, you can't shit on the achievements that Academics has made.
Right.
But he took the number one hip hop personality, and then he tried to little bro him.
He got little brother.
He like and then he tried to demote him. Not from just little brother. He tried to demote him into like, this is my son. And that's not a position you want somebody to try to paint you as. It was why Whack 100 was trying to give him game.
Nephew, I got the tapes. Let me know, nigga.
But thank you for the super chat from Victory. Jay-Z, the king of old YNs.
Shouts out to you, man. Shouts out to Victory Status. We got Big Scoob on deck. It says here, Ack was yapping for the sake of yapping. He didn't answer one question with a straight answer throughout the whole thing. He kept sliding away. Facts. Again, and you know, shouts out to both of y'all and y'all super chats. But look, I'll be real with you. It was an opportunity for Academics to have his Cassius Clay moment. I'm gonna be real with you all. He's not gonna get that again. I'm gonna be real, all right? And he also, to the point that Senna said, you know, Charlemagne was walking a hamster down, right? And in that process, Academics was saying, but you're like my idol, you know, and that's fair. That can be his thing, you know. He can have his idol, that's his thing. But this is a combated sport. When we walk into that room, there are no posters. You ain't on no playlist. You or another opposition in the ring that I need to knock out.
No, that's true. In traditional media, people who are friends all the time, they duke it out when they go on platforms with each other. Ann Coulter and Bill Maher did it all the time, even though I don't like either of them. And you know,
George Bush and John Kerry.
You used to also see with Bill O'Reilly and what's his name again on Comedy Central?
Bill Maher. Not Bill Maher, Bill Maher.
No, Comedy Central.
Which one?
Central. He got his show back. He
Jon Stewart.
Yes.
Jon Stewart.
Yeah. Bill O'Reilly and Jon Stewart. Yep, them two. You see it all the time.
Most of them are all friends behind the scenes.
You see it with athletes. You see it with people who are best of friends, closer friends. But the boundaries of the relationship is known. It seemed like with academics, he doesn't understand the boundary. What is the boundary of your relationship with Charlemagne? Because we see with athletes, they make the boundary very clear. Yes. I love you on the court. We're not friends temporarily. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to win. You're trying to win.
Right.
We understand the boundaries of our relationship. We love each other. But here it's game. And it just seems like Charlemagne felt like he understood his boundaries, and it felt like academics didn't, because at the end of the day, where he let Charlemagne do too much dark psychology, at the end of the day, Charlemagne came here to try to give bail to Jay-Z. You're supposed to be here to try to give some type of bail to Drake, to explain to the audience why you stood by Drake and why you feel that he is being unfairly attacked. Charlemagne was able to gaslight. He was also able to position his guy in a stronger viewpoint. And I just think, and even though the funny thing is, both Charlemagne and academics technically have a lot to work with if you're talking about a Drake versus Jay-Z situation. But Charlemagne didn't even have to go into any of the heavier things to focus on with the Drake situation.
Nigga with warning shots.
Because, academics was still... He was trying to explain himself too much about things that I just personally felt didn't matter.
I think also when you going into that situation where academics was also failing that. And again, academics comes up through YouTube and social media. So he doesn't come up through traditional journalism, traditional radio, being educated, re-educated like Charlemagne has been able to be throughout his years, because he started off raggedy early on in his career. Then he went through the re-education camp, right?
Charlemagne was dirty multiple times.
Absolutely. And he went through media training and all these other things. Academics brand is the opposite of media training,
but
right?
Even after Charlemagne did media training, he still went on Brilliant Idiots and said R. Kelly had a great porn tape with a 14-year-old girl. So that just showed, like, to your point, dude had to get retrained 50 fucking times.
Right. And and that's the point. And so with that being the case, though, you're not wrong about that, Sid. The only thing I just want to bring up is that you really saw someone more experienced versus someone that is less experienced in traditional media. Okay? And so academics forgot to take off the streamer hat, and you come in and you debate about culture, you dissect things. It was too much Rock Nation, and as they say with everything, it was making him sound like he had Rock Nation derangement syndrome,
which is
right?
what Charlemagne wanted him to paint him as. Yeah.
So and also you got to keep in mind, academics did not do enough questioning, because at some point Charlemagne started asking more questions,
like he was interviewing
a crazy nigga,
and
that's what it ended up looking like.
And until this point, academics had a lot of momentum, because what Charlemagne weaknesses is what academic strength is. What he does with the streaming culture, what he does also with the clipping culture
is a rebel rouser,
which is an off branch of the manipulation that usually happen in like yellow journalism and what we used to see even with certain type of engagement farming in traditional media.
Yes.
But on social media, the clip farming is on steroids, right?
Right.
So
millions of dollars being dumped into that.
Yeah. So academics has his strength, and he just didn't know how to really switch up to what would be better in the environment of Charlemagne. But it's like what you said. The tricky thing is you see where certain people go to academics environment from traditional media, they don't do well.
They catch LLs.
DJ Head did horrible over there with academics when they had a one-to-one. Yeah. Even when Head was like, I was gossiping about you behind your back. I'm like, who cares? Like, why you mentioned it? Like, nobody cares about that. But you made a great point even when you said Royce, when he battled what's his name? Mr. Fab.
The pedestrian.
When Royce went to Mr. Fab's environment, He did horrible.
Right.
But when Mr. Fab went to Royce the 5'9's environment, he lost. He got smoked by Royce.
When Malcolm speaks.
That's why a lot of people, when they compete against each other, they want to have the advantage of where it's going to be held.
You mean they want home court?
Home court advantage.
Home court advantage. And honestly, the reason why I said it was a bad idea for academics, all right, is that Charlemagne would have had home court advantage. That's the style of media Charlemagne is actually quite comfortable with. You know, I know they was like, oh, well, it's going to be in a neutral space. So, and think about media, which is pretty much all of it is just manipulation and social engineering. That's all it is, folks, right? But once they walk away, or by the point that the sentiment I'm getting online is that, you know, for the most part, people was saying, well, you know, Act sounds like a crazy nigga, right? But then after all of that, their grand sat down across generations, right? Then Pharrell comes out on stage and says, and you know who I'm talking about. So I was like, Act, if you would have did good, then this would have highlighted, this would have punctuated your victory speech or your victory debate with Charlemagne, because your whole premise was that there is something going on with Jay-Z and Drake specifically, and it's bled into media.
Yeah, he didn't even bring up the fact that Ye said there is an elimination of Drake.
Nothing.
Ye said all the industry people who were a part of it, including himself at the time.
I mean, yeah, I know, bro. Yeah, you know what about it?
Ye said there is.
We're very excited about the elimination of Drake.
Right, and he wasn't the only one. There's some other people that you can reference if you want to just dismiss Ye and say, oh, well, he has mental illness. But,
right.
You know, there's a couple of things that could have been brought up, you know, if you wanted to try to showcase or paint the image that there are various people out there
niggas was upset with him
in the industry that are after Drake. There's a lot of things you could have illustrated.
Yeah, so, you know, realistically, when you look at the whole grand scheme of things, like I told y'all, you know, some of the folks, they say, well, what do you think about him debating Charlemagne? I said, it's not going to work. You know, it's going to be a little bit too unfocused, and he really does look up to Charlemagne, you know, so I don't think you're going to get much out of that. You know, I said, for the most part, what Academics is going to do is probably spend the next couple of weeks kind of repositioning his ship and moving on forward. And whatever play that's going to be taking place, we're going to be seeing some more of it. By the way, shouts out to, what is it? Camacha says, so you guys are also manipulated. Actually, we're reporting right now. Nigga, that's what we're doing. How you going to come here to get manipulated? The hell you talking about? All right, but shouts out to you.
Just to add to this, that's a great point you brought up, Prince, because it's like, what are we truly manipulating?
What is it to manipulate?
I mean, whatever. We're trying to, you know, steal money from you? I don't know. What exactly is the manipulation?
If we was going to manipulate, we would have already picked a side. That's how you manipulate. So you manipulate from a side, a position.
He's saying we're manipulating just to manipulate. We don't got nothing.
That nigga woke up to have eggs and manipulation.
We don't have nothing better to do than just to manipulate just for the sake of. I mean, you know.
So anyway, what we were speaking though concerning about the missteps of DJ Academics against Charlemagne, to Sincere's point though, I would say up until their debate, I think my honest opinion and my assertion, I feel that DJ Academics had the upper hand on Charlemagne.
Yeah,
and because even Charlemagne's counter wasn't directly focused on Academics. It was focused on an invisible Chinaman in Australia that the general public didn't really care about.
Well, it's the
so at that point in time, it just kind of looked lopsided until Charlemagne sat down face to face with Academics.
It's a setup to the punchline.
Yes,
and Act should have gotten it when Charlemagne was already laying out the setup.
Yes, he was.
For weeks, he's already been saying Jay-Z derangement, Rock Nation derangement. He's been saying this for months. That's the setup.
Repeat.
You should have already came in knowing that's the angle he's going to come with, you know? And technically, you were supposed to do your own version of it. Like, you know, I guess to some degree, you know, Ack was saying that, Rock Nation, they own everything. They're they're heavy in the streets. They've been messing with a lot of independent media, which could be true. But you are supposed to then, when you're meeting here with Charlemagne, you're supposed to have that ready of proving how, and I just, people got to pay attention to when people are lining you up. It was obvious. Like, even the part when academics said, "Really, you doing this, Charlotte? Really?" Yes, he kept saying months. Jay-Z derangement. Jay-Z derangement. Jay-Z derangement.
You really hitting me? Shouts out to Camacho. We appreciate you, man. Shouts out to you for having a great sense of humor. That's all it is at the end of the day, players and playettes. But I did think the Charlemagne and academics debate was actually going to play out exactly how I thought it would. I think at this point in time, it's not necessarily the strongest format for DJ Academics. When DJ Academics get back in his gamer chair, that's actually where he shines at. Charlemagne, where he shines at is in that moment, having that quote-unquote direct conflict with a subject in an interview. Now, look, is it kind of low-hanging fruit to some degree? I could say yes, because Academics does the research in the things he's interested in. His guy is Drake. I actually think that if you're going to sell Drake, and sell this Drake Jay-Z dynamic, one of the better angles that he could have came with at this point in time is that generational rifts, that which I was curious to see, was he going to bring that up? But at some point he just started responding to when Charlemagne was questioning him, and it came off like Charlemagne was the authority versus that academics coming in. I'm the authority of my generation. I'm about to go ahead and go against the authority of the previous generation for that particular sector of media. You get what I'm saying? So I think that's hard for people to understand that. And I've always said this. This is the only space that millennials fail at. I always tell you that.
Wait. What do you mean? What space do all millennials fail at, Prince?
I didn't say all millennials, did I? No, I just say only space that millennials fail at when they get in these spaces is that when you're in a position right now, and let's say someone from the previous generation sees you enough as a competitor that they say, I want to engage in a combative sport with you. You don't go in there washing their feet. You don't go in there talking about, I look up to you.
No, it's what we called it, fatality friendship.
The friendship,
Charlemagne
academics came in there with a charm bracelet. I said, come on, Act. You got to swing up.
Well,
man.
It's kind of like, look, you got to know when to play and know when to get serious. It's like if somebody came at us trying to gaslight us about Clive Davis, we went straight to the 1973 article from New York Times and other credible sources, and we talked about the payola scandal.
Yes.
Anytime, first of all, when it comes to people who are dick riding traditional media, even though they can fuck up, because a lot of people who are a part of traditional media and people who are supposed to be, credible was in the Epstein files. But if you really, really want to go to work on industry people, use their own industry sources against them. It pisses them off. Yeah, when they cry about you being a conspiracy theorist, okay, well then I'm gonna go to the Washington Post, I'm gonna go to the New York Times, I'm gonna go to the places you like to be around, and I'll find at least one article and one credible journalist to back up what I'm saying. Now let the games begin.
Charlemagne also several times, he clearly stated, I do have a bias against Drake, right? Which wasn't necessarily exploited because that was exploited against him concerning Jay-Z and Rock Nation, right? So I just thought it was interesting. I do think it is a lesson for people that typically follow DJ Academic's format. I think he does have his right to be here, like, Tasha K or some of the other quote unquote more cleaner brands or whatever the case may be. But I do think it's a lesson for people to understand about direct conflict versus social media antagonism. At some point in time, you're going to have to shred. You're going to have to get in shape. And, a lot of times people are going to be coming with their A game, because I actually kind of felt in that dynamic, I think Charlemagne understands academics.
More
Yeah,
than academics.
yeah.
Understand
I think
Charlemagne.
when it comes to their fighting styles in media and techniques.
Also, Prince Juice says, I'm hearing, but excuses for Ack.
Who?
He's saying that he's hearing excuses for Ack. Right. That sit down shows he lives in a echo chamber. What's your thoughts on that, Prince?
Okay.
He said he feels like he's hearing excuses for
I
Ack.
would have to be friends with academics to have an excuse. I'm just being honest with you. I don't know academics. Okay, it's like I don't know ASAP Rocky.
Well, you know what
All
he
right.
wanted? He wanted us to, I don't know, maybe be one-dimensional in our commentary instead of going point by point.
Right. But I don't have a Rock Nation badge,
Exactly.
and I'm not getting paid.
And
Not by Rock Nation.
and I don't think Charlemagne is a brilliant mind. I just think that he's was smarter than academics in this environment. Like, what do you want me to say?
A fight's a fight. Somebody lost. I mean, what do you want to say? Like, it's like if you see two niggas fighting in front of the gas station, they're not trained like Michael Jai White. You still gonna say which nigga won. So what are you talking about? What we doing? Come on now, like loosen up. Like I hope we're not getting into the tight ass scenario. No,
I mean,
Diddy.
I hope you don't
yeah.
think we supposed to hero worship somebody in this dynamic because
No,
there's nobody
these
to
are-
worship.
Niggas bleed just like us. Shouts out to Juice though. He says love the show. We appreciate you, man. I like y'all. I like y'all little bitty pushbacks and being cool with everything. Thank you.
Come on, man.
But yeah, overall, you know, them on the set of George Jetson, Meet the Jetsons. You know, I just think, you know, academics didn't really do the best. But I didn't assume that he was going to be Jesse Owens because, again, he really admires Charlemagne. He really admires him. And it's kind of hard for him to really punch back at some of the weaker stances that Charlemagne took in the conversation.
Oh, but you want to know why? Academics has a soft spot for Charlemagne because out of all the credible, and I mean when I say credible, I don't mean credible as a journalist or anything like that. People would dig right in Charlemagne too much, talking about journalists when a couple years ago he talked about watching R. Kelly porn tapes on 14-year-old girls. But Charlemagne was the only person who came from radio who acknowledged academics.
Yeah,
And
true,
that's
yeah.
where the soft spot comes in. You know, Drake, you know, later down the line eventually acknowledged academics, but Charlemagne was the first person to acknowledge
That's fine.
him. So,
But we
for
here
him,
to debate, man. Yeah, I
yeah,
appreciate
for
you.
him, he is. I guess
Yeah.
that's where it could be coming from.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it was pretty much easy work for Charlemagne. All right, so moving on forward. Going back, though, which I did think what was like underscoring the whole entire conversation is when Pharrell Williams got on stage and he talked about bears wearing helmets. I actually laughed. I thought about it while Pharrell was giving his speech. Because, you know, Pharrell does a lot of Buddha talk, but Drake does get under his skin.
You think Pharrell's mad about that Meltdown track?
I think he's been irritated about everything Drake has been doing. Because Drake has been trolling Pharrell.
No, but I'm saying, do you think it's since Travis Scott album where Drake featured on that Meltdown track where he was like, I melt down the chain and all this other stuff? You think Pharrell's still upset about that?
I don't know if he's really upset about that specifically. I just think overall, Pharrell strikes me as the guy, he's tired of all of the shots from Drake. Because Drake been giving Pharrell Williams, Skateboard P, a lot of shots. And Pharrell raps, and he actually can rap very well, to be honest with you. But Pharrell's rap moniker is not in a position where people will listen to Pharrell smoking on a Drake pack in a song. You get what I'm saying? They like his production. They like a verse from here, his singing. They like, you know, the aesthetics and, the Gucci high heel sneaker shoes over in France and shit. But I think he's just been irritated with Drake just in general. But he tries to appear calm and poised in the public because he's not trying to let the mask slip off. But when he got on stage and he had that liquor up in him and he said, I can't wait for you to kill these niggas. I said, whoa, this is the new Black Pharrell.
Whoa,
What happened to Peaceful P?
First of all, we said like Buddha's. First of all, Buddha Hove was a fake.
He tried.
It was
but,
fabricated. He wasn't even trying. You know what we know.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just trying to. I'm trying to give Buddha a chance. Buddha Hove a chance.
But to your point, yeah, Pharrell basically gave some more, aggressive energy, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens, especially. And I think academics didn't know how important of a piece he is for the Drake side, because they were the dynamic duo. Like them together, second half, they were finally, up and up. They were doing better.
You talking about Ack and Drake?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Scorpio and Taurus.
Yeah. Iceman, he was able to, trigger some people with some of the subliminal shots and some of the direct shots he took on the album. And, fast forward here, I do think there was supposed to be other surprises that night that possibly may have not happened because of the delay, the 4-hour delay. But Pharrell was very hyped up, when he talked about, but he said them. Yeah. Remember what he's letting out of the cat, out of the bag is like, he said them. Yeah, he didn't say him. No. He said them, so it actually leaves like some mystery there. Like,
he said them, and then he said, "You know who I'm talking about."
Right. So
he kind of put it up there.
If you're saying them, are you talking about Nicki? Are you talking about academics? Are you talking about Drake? Are you talking about all of them? Right. Are you talking about anyone who has issues with Jay-Z that has already been known in the industry? What did he mean by them?
Yeah, well, we know Jay-Z has been having some obstacles. Now, we did talk to you guys in 2017. We said that there's going to be an issue with Diddy. He's going to take the L first, and then it's going to go to Jay-Z. We talked about that before this stuff happened, and so we're here. And yes, Jay-Z has not been enjoying the last couple of years. And with that being the case, though, when you say them, of course, we know publicly there's Drake, there's 50, and then there's Nicki Minaj. Now, Jay-Z came outside with The Streets Is Watching bulletproof vests, all right? And he did do it before 50 Cent, so that's why, to some degree, Jay was talking down to Fifth, because 50 did look up to Jay-Z as well. That's why he seemed hurt about when he found out allegedly that the white boy Eminem wasn't going to do the Super Bowl unless he brought 50 Cent. And then 50 Cent went back on his Black Conan tour against Jay-Z's head again, right? Start calling him the gay painter and stuff. But Pharrell, I thought there was a little bit too much telegraphing of the punches. I think Pharrell kind of let the cat out the bag, but to the point, Sid and I was stating here, more than likely there was supposed to be some other things as, what we were educated about, and because of that delay, it didn't really take place. You get what I'm saying? But
Pharrell was mad about it.
Baby. Yeah, Pharrell was tight. I say, because we said, we told you guys, we said, is Jay going to Summer Jam screen some of his ops, right? But as you can see, they had the concert, but Pharrell was very irritated. He said, I can't wait for you to kill the new blacks.
Right. Also, he said, how does Drake think he could take down Jay when he could barely hang with K-Dot? The Jay-Z hate has died down. He's ready to drop the album. Jay-Z has a lot of rumors and allegations and myths about him, and he has where Jay-Z did a good job, he did a good job by having some of the people who've said the most vicious things about him on stage with him. And he already neutralized Foxy Brown. So he did good there. But nonetheless, there's so much stuff that has been talked about with Jay-Z, of course, because he's been here for 30 years in the game. It's one of the things that gave Drake, one could say, a life raft. Because when people try to do, again, the morality situation got killed when Jay-Z came back outside. Now, if Jay-Z focused on the cultural thing, musically, if he comes with a classic rap album, like what we saw, what the Clips was able to do we've let God sort them out, then we're cooking with something. But I think Drake is coming from a standpoint that, wait a minute, I'm getting better, reception now that I've been more quiet. Now that people have focused on Jay-Z, because the two industry people that people love to talk about the most online is Jay-Z and Drake. Yeah. But guess what? You would think Drake would be number one, but no, he's number two. The person who is the most talked about online, that's the easiest to have many videos on, whether it's deservingly or not.
It's Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
It's Jay-Z.
So absolutely for Drake, this is an upside. Just Jay-Z's presence.
There you go. So Joe.
It neutralizes a lot of things for Drake, as long as, again, he doesn't fuck it up.
Yeah,
and he don't do like what Act did with the Charlemagne thing. But it's kind of like, until academics messed up, Charlemagne, like, what could he really say about academics? Oh, you was talking about with a 15-year-old boy, and that was weird. Yeah. When he gave a 16-year-old girl alcohol, when he talked about R. Kelly had a great sex porn tape with a 14-year-old girl, and I'm not gonna say what he said, because it's disgusting. So you get what I'm saying? At this point, if you can't go with morality, if you can't go with all the other points that people usually try to do to try to take somebody out, it's only going to be left up to the gift of gab, who can illustrate their points the best, that's not stuck on morality, and then who can put out the best music when you're talking about Drake versus Jay-Z. It's really up in the air. Now, if someone try to do bar to bar, it's like people forget you got to play to your strengths. Everybody is very arrogant when they think like, oh, I can win any fucking battle. It's like what we said. We saw some people in traditional media get cooked by academics because they didn't understand the streaming culture. When we've seen people in the industry go on academics' platform,
hold a big L,
and
Lamont Coleman,
and embarrass themselves.
Yeah, and the other side of the game here. Now, as far as your statement, to the shouts out to the think tank member, but this is not going to be fought about direct bars and bars. Remember, Jay-Z and Drake are both subliminal rappers. Jay-Z is the best subliminal cryptologist MC we've ever seen in hip-hop. Hands down. Even before Biggie died. And I think Biggie was an incredible storyteller. All right? The voice alone would kill a lot of niggas, right? But Biggie said, I think Duke got me. I think Duke's better than me, right? Biggie was honest about that, right? When it comes to structuring bars and the way he's coupling the rhyme schemes together, I do think Jay-Z is better in that department. But as a storyteller, and as a narrator, as an MC, I think Biggie Smalls better than Jay-Z in that department. But at the same time, throughout his career, Jay-Z played more to his strengths. Exactly saying. Now, the other side is this. People keep bringing up the conversation, and there's no slight to the person that asked that question in the chat or made that statement. People keep bringing up, all right, well, Drake, he couldn't even dance with Kendrick. You're right, because what did I say early on in the beginning of the battle? So now we talked about this when we did the review to Like That, and we called it was the eviction out of Atlanta. We talked about that when we went live, right? We reacted live to the track, right? The thing I said in that, I said is if Drake doesn't allow Kendrick to get control of the fight, he has a chance. But lyrically, as an MC, as a penman, with his penmanship, we know what Kendrick can do if you're a hip-hop listener. Rap fans, even the industry people, we're having to be honest, they were already siding with Drake because, to be fair to Drake at the time, we have seen Drake in more rap battles publicly than Kendrick Lamar. So some people felt like, hey, is Kendrick one of these show pony lyricists that they do a lot of incredible work, but they can't battle for shit, right? So one thing we said, if Kendrick gets if he becomes the master of the timing of the fight, he's definitely going to win. And at some point,
he controlled the
pacing of the fight, right?
Even when Mace and Cam tried to rush it, he moved on in his own time and his own
space. Yeah. So and in that regard, that's what happened there. And Drake, a lot of times, kind of struggles with those types of MCs, Pusha T, Joe Budden, and then Kendrick Lamar. It's kind of because he's stepping out of his lane and not bringing them to his level. What he's doing with Jay-Z is interesting. He's actually assisting in bringing Jay-Z outside. And I know the whole Vengers, they get irritated.
They got mad when we said that before,
We're calling an ace a spade a spade. Let's tell you why. You know, somebody brought this up, and this is something that we talked about. Jay-Z's went through 3 different appearances during this past year. Okay? He came out with the Basquiat Buddha locks when he was telling the editor-in-chief of GQ that we're past battling, right? Then he came outside in Philly with the blowout. This was Oz J. This was Shawshank J. He was talking about shanking people.
No redemption.
Right? So he was talking about shanking people in the yard.
Don't
right?
make me on you.
Yeah, don't make me get under skin, right?
He said he was going to stab Ye.
And then
he's trying to get under skin.
Right. And then he comes out, Streets is watching Jay. So we've seen 3 different iterations. In the meantime, Drake hasn't had any public response to anything as of now.
We also see him time travel because he aged backwards.
He did.
Because he looked like he was 80.
Yes.
And then, I'm going to be honest.
He looks younger now.
He look fresh and young now.
Look young.
That's
Vampire Jay.
The close cut Jay.
Yeah.
The fade, that's the best.
Yeah, because Dame Dash was talking about his hair.
The Yankee cap on.
Yeah.
He looked like 10 years has been, removed off from him.
All right. Also, shouts out to Victory Status here. I agree with you saying. We're gonna get back into the conversation. Victory Status says here he let Schultz talk crazy to Angela Rye on the Brilliant Idiots. Yeah, but that's not a talking point academics would attack Charlemagne on.
Yeah, remember he's in love with Charlemagne.
So he wouldn't.
There's a lot of things you can destroy Charlemagne on. He's not gonna bring up any of them, but also
Angela Rye and Charlemagne got that brother sister.
That's my brother. Yeah, that's how she talks.
That's their stuff. Yeah.
But another interesting thing, people, because they don't like Drake, they never want to say when he makes really intelligent moves.
Right.
By him mentioning Jay-Z, it also reminds people how big Drake is.
Right.
That he is a big deal.
Yeah.
And it also legitimized him still in hip hop because Common, Rick Ross, Kendrick, Meek Mill, Joe Budden. These are all the things that actually help Drake when he says, I am a part of hip hop. Because then why would y'all keep arguing and debating and rapping and getting into battles with somebody who's not hip hop unless you're Eminem, who did that weird shit of just, getting into battles and beefs with people
pop stars
who weren't even hip hop.
Yeah.
So it legitimized Drake's point. He's like, well, you say I'm not hip hop.
Y'all keep talking to me.
Y'all already proved y'all are wrong. Everybody who's in hip hop media, who are hip hop journalists, have begged and cried for Drake to interview him. Yeah. Everybody who is considered to be a big deal in hip hop, whether it's his peers or the people who came before him, have basically talked about him in a way that's very hip hop. So when he gets into this type of energy, again, as long as he doesn't fumble and mess it up, the fact that Jay-Z thinks that he needs to even address Drake after he said on the GQ magazine interview, he says, what is Drake to me? I'm Hove. And he said, what Kendrick and Drake got, that's between them.
Yeah, he said that's playpen shit.
Yeah, he said that's little boy shit. Yeah. He said, what does that got to do with me? Only for him
to come outside.
To still.
And Pharrell say, I can't wait for you to do it. And another thing I keep saying, even if you don't want to believe in that angle, if the boy ain't a part of the rap conversation, why do all the real hip hop niggas keep responding to him? Not only that, that's what Sin was stating, but I got even another one to add to that. Why did y'all co-sign me? Fuck y'all talking to me. Why did y'all co-sign me?
Nas, Jay-Z, especially Jay-Z.
If I ain't shit and I'm not a part of hip hop, why did y'all co-sign me for 15 years?
Beyonce one time said Jake is my favorite artist, rap artist.
I'm just saying.
When he did the Girls Love Beyonce.
Come on now. Come on, like if you go back, look at how all of the rappers at one point in time, Pusha T included, right? Kendrick talked about Drake's pin game. He talked about, the music. And now allegedly Kendrick may have found out some other stuff behind the scenes about the OVO sweatshop process. But I also do believe Kendrick and Drake's situation was direct competition. I think it was a competitive rivalry that really bled out into something else at this point in time. But realistically, Jay-Z spoke about how well Drake is able to articulate and speak with clarity in his bars.
His bars are so clean and clear.
I'm just asking, like, for real. Look, I mean, I get what everybody's saying, and that's fine. The two rappers that you can make the most money off of in the YouTube algorithm, Peter Thiel sponsored space, is talking about Jay-Z and Drake. And we're being honest with y'all about that. And I know people don't like to hear that because there's some parts of the culture that's struggling with their cognitive dissonance. Pretty much everybody has over the years in rap music and hip hop spaces, right down to even right now, Jadakiss still has or have co-signed Drake.
Right. And also Drake has proven a point that people don't want to admit because they're too biased to call it straight down the middle with this stuff. Drake did prove his point already, which is really crazy that academics did not make this point.
He didn't make it.
That, okay, if you want to say people have Jay-Z derangement, they have Drake derangement. Yeah. You want to know how many dick riders who've dick ride Drake for like decades, who only after the battle in 2024 switched up, and then they would be like, Drake is he's bigger than Michael Jackson. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute, no, Drake is not bigger than Michael Jackson. Like, I mean, there's so many people. That's why it's so difficult to try to figure out who truly genuinely never mess with Drake versus the people who be like closet Drake fans, and they be like bipolar with it.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting that academics never brought up that point in his, debate with Charlemagne. But, we see it all the time. Even, Drake is starting to comprehend it to some degree on Iceman when he talked about his, closeted fans. And we see there's a lot of closeted fans of Drake in the industry. Drake is a very bizarre situation. In hip hop, because usually in hip hop people are really clear. Like, people who don't like Jay-Z as a person are very clear that they appreciate his music and still understand that he's a legend and the icon in the culture, even if they have issues with him or felt there's certain parts of his career where he let the culture down. And usually with a lot of these figures, pros and cons, even with Diddy and all the rest of them, is very, people are usually clear in their messaging, whether they're for these people or against them. With Drake, people are all over the place. They're never really clear. Some of the people who hate him love him secretly. They act
like they've been seen in a gay club at night.
Right.
Yeah, and it's weird. They don't claim Drake.
And then some of the people who publicly say they love him, hate him.
Yeah.
It
is true.
It's a very weird thing with him.
They do treat Drake, I don't know, like a lover they like to roll around with, but they don't want to claim them publicly. And I don't see that with no other rapper. I had a friend that was an engineer, and they did a lot of work with some folks in the industry. And I remember early on they asked me, they said, Do you like any of Drake's music? I told them, I said, I thought So Far Gone was nice. I liked the Houston, Atlanta, Vegas, but I didn't like Thank Me Later, and some of the features was okay, and some of them were a miss for me personally. So I was mostly listening to like Future and Crit. You get what I'm saying? And, oh yeah, and some early Kendrick too, by the way. So, you know, and whoever came, you know, Cudi, Wale, I was listening to all of them. So I was listening to Jean Grey and Danny Brown and all them people, right? But early on, there's something that happened. We'll put our hand on it. No Diddy, we'll put our hand on it. Something happened because early on, and we got to be real, we can't lie to the babies, all right? Early on, when there were hip-hop purists, because I knew hip-hop purists that never liked Drake from the very beginning. They didn't like nothing about Drake.
Because there are a lot of ones who did, though.
Well, but again, remember, I'm talking about the purists, which they were a smaller niche crowd. They were reduced to the hip-hop Wu-Tang forums online, right? The blogs, right? All that boxden.com type shit, right? But overall, though, Drake was a part of the blog era fraternal club where if his song came on the radio behind Wale and they're dancing at the club, people kept dancing. They had a situation because we talked to some people. There were some people. Let me tell y'all something. The reason why you guys see us continue to talk the way we talk, despite what everybody else is faking online with. Folks, when Drake had that situation with Meek Mill, they said there were people in the industry, they thought this nigga was Allah. They thought this nigga, because he could rap, he could sing. Now he got a Philly body on his record.
I agree. I think some people in the chat are being fake. And y'all say we lying or y'all lying. Schoolboy Q, major fan and defended Drake all the time, talking about he loved the emotions and that Drake was a dope ass lyric. It was literally 90% of the industry.
Yeah.
People who were above him, and when I say above him, people who came before him. And then his peer group, most of them were saying just great things about him, you know. So, and it wasn't just like a little bit, or like, oh, some people just said it for like nice things for 2 years, and it was it was like long time. It was a long time.
It was a long time. His summer run, he broke Jay's record. Up until then, Jay-Z had the longest summer run, and that was celebrated even when Jay-Z did it on Memphis Bleek's album, Dear Summer, right? Drake was able to come in, and I think he doubled the summer efforts that Jay-Z had, which happens. You know, LeBron James passed up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, all right? It just happens with the next generation, whatever iteration it comes in. But here's the thing about it, though. Kendrick Lamar understood all of that. I think Pusha T got it, but also Pusha T didn't have the visible leverage. He didn't have the same visible leverage that Kendrick Lamar had. And Joe Budden understood the power of Drake, but it's Joe Budden. Right,
no, you said that because I went and looked at old clips. I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah,
because I just thought that Pusha never really fucked with the Drake energy.
No, he did.
But he was like, he was a fan of Drake music.
It's weird. It's industry stuff.
That's why when I see people being groupies, I don't care who you being a groupie for, even if it's for Drake. Y'all don't make no sense. Even the guys you be like dick riding, being like, yeah, man, that's my nigga. They know real hip hop. They literally were big fans of Drake, including Pusha T. I was like, damn, I didn't know Pusha T was.
Remember,
Drake is a fan of Pusha T too.
But that's how everybody tried to leave it.
It was mutual.
It was mutual respect, right? And then the other side of it, even with the Pusha T and the Travis Scott situation, Pusha wanted Travis Scott to produce a whole album for him. He said he would have loved to do it. It never came about. So what you going to do? Fight with the niggas.
Even Kendrick said that he loved Drake music, especially when he sings. But most people don't. Some people don't like Drake singing.
Yeah.
You know, Charlemagne, for example, he's always been consistent with that. He said he never likes Drake singing. But so that's the weird thing about it, is like you're trying to use people to say why Drake doesn't matter, but the people that you use,
they liked him. Just
like when Drake tries to be sassy and he says Kendrick's not a big deal or other people not a big deal. It's like, how is that the case when you're a fan of Kendrick music too?
He loved Damn.
Drake
loved Damn. He actually congratulated Kendrick Lamar publicly, and Kendrick said, "Motherfucker, I don't even like you," right? But he still congratulated him. I'll give you guys an example. When y'all saw Draymond, chicken and collard greens, scratch LeBron James' eyeball when LeBron James was putting up 50 points. Because I used to tell Sid all the time, I said, yo, LeBron, they was about to smoke Golden State. They had to scratch his eye, right? And then J.R. Smith running the wrong way took all of the spirit out of LeBron. He couldn't believe it, right? Mm-hmm. We saw Draymond Green put his dirty fingernails in LeBron James' eye. They still sat on a podcast with each other and was laughing and joking.
Right. Even Jay-Z told Cole to be more like Drake.
Like, what we talking about?
Come on. If y'all are true hip-hop historians, you would know what every guy has said. That's why this stuff, like, remember, when people are at war, they say anything to win.
Anything to
win. And
win.
you look for the weakest part of someone. Like Pusha T said, before he did the story of Anadon, he analyzed Drake's music and some of the interviews Drake had about, you know, insecurities he had about his family and different things like that. And so he said he used that to his advantage for the story of Anadon. And it's like, I don't know what to say anymore, because people want you to live in a fake bubble. I'm not at war with Kendrick or Drake or Jay-Z, so I can tell the truth. I could talk about how all these people are fans of each other and fighting it out at a bar. Like, I don't have to be fake because I'm not on any of these people's team.
I think if people sit up here, and I think, let me just take this from our observation. So we're gonna play the role of let me see, Jim Lampley and Max Kellerman, right? You know, and this is HBO boxing, right? Jay-Z knows what he sees when he's looking at Drake. I want y'all to understand that. All you Hovinger niggas that try to downplay everything, Jay-Z got a different perspective when he looking at that nigga. Just like Kendrick Lamar, he took that battle serious. He know goddamn well exactly what Drake is. He's Dracula. You didn't see this nigga get stabbed in the heart with a golden stake. You didn't see him get stabbed in the heart with a bronze stake. You didn't see him get stabbed in the heart with a silver stake. That nigga disappeared, go lay in that coffin for a summer, and he come back outside stronger. So Kendrick said, I got to put in overtime with this nigga. Not only that, I got to deal with the regional bias because people still mad about Biggie, right? So he had to really get in there and work, right? Jay-Z knows exactly what he's dealing with. He knows that 50 Cent needs Ozempic. He knows that 50 Cent is going to hit IG and troll him. Now that the hair is gone, 50 Cent is going to have to come up with some new jokes, right? But when you're dealing with Drake, when we're talking about bar for bar, hip-hop niggas kind of lost it where they're thinking this is how this battle's going to be fought. No, when you have tracks like Whisper My Name, when you have...
might be if...
You have tracks like...
If Drake becomes impulsive...
Well,
and try to do another, which I don't think that's a good idea. That gives the advantage to Jay-Z.
I don't think there's any impulsivity right now dealing with Jay-Z from Drake's angle. See, with Kendrick, that was very like, you know, he kept trying to little brother Kendrick to some degree. Because Drake thinks like that in general. People think, like we told you, he yelled at Jewish men. He yelling at Lucien Grange right now. That's a Jewish white man. That's a knighted Jewish white man. He yell at the blacks. That's what Drake does. He goes off a lot on a lot of different people. We told you guys that. A lot of you all didn't believe us until y'all started seeing him telling Lucien Grange you're dust. No other rapper is saying that. No matter how pro-black they are, they just not going to say it.
Well, Jay-Z on 444 said Doug Morris and Lucien.
But said I was just about to get into that.
But he didn't say sloppy, like he didn't say like uncontrollable like Drake.
Drake sound like he want to fight Lucien.
Like he want to slap it. Then he also brought up Lucien's son.
The reason why I'm saying this, I was just about to go to the only other rapper that does that is Jay-Z.
But Jay-Z does it in a relaxed way.
Right.
He don't be like, Jimmy Iovine, you bald-headed bitch. He'll be like,
he does it in a Sagittarius way.
Yeah, he'd be like, it's our time, the Elohim and all that other stuff.
Lucy don't write. Like, nigga, you all right, but you don't write. You don't do what I do.
Yeah, like
that's the sad shit.
Jay-Z will shade you. But he shades the executives in his music. He be like, you ain't right, you not from the culture, you don't write, whatever. Drake just spaz out like
hot-headed Scorpio. That's what he is. He saw Lucien's bald spot and he got pissed off.
ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
So think about this. Let's break this down so people can get an idea of what we're saying. It would have been direct bars if Drake was a hothead when dealing with Jay-Z. But he grew up as a real fan of Jay-Z. So when you're a real fan of someone, okay, you actually become a student of them. So you understand. You don't think it's
because he got hit in the head a lot?
Don't say it. Get black woman.
All right, go ahead.
Let the black man cook.
If you feel it was, but he
let the black man cook.
Go ahead.
I'm in there. All right. Like Hit Boy said, this a cooker.
Because
he's
a fan of Ye and Pusha, and he ran right into it.
He don't see them the same way though.
He put Ye on a higher pedestal than Jay-Z. On Scary Hours 3, he was crying about how he thought they were going to make up and they was going to be friends. And that Ye was going to be like the mentor and they were going to do the Watch the Throne too.
Stop. But Kanye West is not looked at in the same vein of cool like Jay-Z.
Prince.
But saying it, this the cooker, I'm the chef. Hit Boy.
This
the cooker, I'm the chef. Let me cook.
No, I'm gonna be honest, Prince. I think that Drake put Ye on a higher pedestal.
No, he does. You're right about that.
Jay-Z.
But I'm telling you, there's going to be different tactics now.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, because think about it. Kanye West publicly said, "I wasn't the mastermind behind what happened to you when it came to story of Adidas." Now,
yes, that's what he claimed. Yes,
we heard a story that it's alleged that some Chicago people and some Midwest boys wanted to see about Push after what happened with Drake. Because they said, you messing up the money. Right? Mm-hmm. Pusha T was in France with his brother. All right? And you didn't see Pusha T around Kanye West anymore. And what did Kanye West say when he spazzed out? He said, you stood on my shoulders. Now, some people are like, bro, he lying. He a Gemini. Because he did say we're very excited about the elimination of Drake. I don't want to have mental illness, so I'm not going to chase Kanye.
We told him that years ago. I said, Prince and I said, you chase after Ye, you wasting your time.
So now what I am saying here,
whether he did something or not, that's somebody you just ignore.
Well, the reason why I was going back to my point early on saying that, I agree with what you're saying, but let me tell you, just hear my perspective here, okay? Because he put Kanye West higher than Jay, whoever has Drake's heartstrings the strongest, he's going to be very emotional about. We've seen it in his career. Now, I don't know where he's going to go with it this time around, but he was very emotional when he responded to Kanye. And like you said, Sin, here on Thought Crimes, we said you should have broken the horns off that fucking Taurus, that Virginian Taurus, Pusha T. I said, if you do not terminate the ambassador, it's going to haunt you forever. Drake got so angry he wanted to battle Kanye. And Kanye did what Kanye does, right? The Jay-Z situation is a little bit different because we've just watched Jay-Z transform into 3 different niggas in front of us. And we did not see Drake respond to nothing.
Because he got beat up so many times. He's realized it's a pattern since the Wyoming curse. Because remember, Pusha T had the Santa Rita cover with the Whitney Houston bathroom,
the Whitney
death
Houston
of a pop star and all this. So
Pusha was doing witchcraft. Talking about death of a pop star.
So after the Wyoming curse that was set upon Drake, he and getting beat up over and over with the same type of recipe, he like slowing it the fuck down. And also,
you know, another thing, saying just to say this too.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll just put this and you can continue. Except Jay-Z, kind of replace Jay-Z and Beyonce, remove Beyonce, and maybe Swiss and Alicia. It's pretty much the same group of niggas that was at Wyoming.
That's why I call it the Wyoming curse. ASAP Rocky there.
Everybody y'all saw on stage was
the only person really who ain't there is Ye, but Jay-Z was playing Ye's music on stage.
But take Alicia Keys, Swiss Beats, and Jay-Z out. You have all of the people that was at Wyoming
Drake
on stage.
Drake is trying not to get spirit cooked
because he knows something.
He saw Jay-Z with his forehead on some witches, so he already know. Like Drake goes to the island for spirit cooking. He's watching out for Jay-Z's spirit cooking, right?
Jay-Z going to the 13 witches? Because Drake go to the island, Jay-Z go to the 13 witches.
Also, Hoy, what you're saying is true. This was what the point that we was trying to make to everybody in the audience. People try to, just like people, we said in 2024 when people was like, Kendrick isn't a big deal, we said stop it.
Stop it.
He is.
That nigga's a big deal.
And that's why y'all saw what happened in 2024. But just like people like stop it. Y'all thought Kendrick going after Drake was a big deal because Drake is a fucking big deal.
He's a big deal.
And you consider him hip hop.
Like a big deal.
You consider him hip hop because nobody in hip hop goes and watch people they don't think is hip hop. Like stop it. Y'all not watching a bunch of fucking videos on Vanilla Ice. This is why people are being fucking fake. You're not going to no Vanilla Ice video. You're not going to Jack Harlow video, and Jack Harlow put a lot of people to fucking sleep. Y'all go and take your asses to go watch Drake videos, Kendrick videos, Jay-Z videos, Nas videos, and so on and so forth. That's the whole point.
Get out of the spell, niggas.
That's the thing that actually keeps Drake
here
thriving and surviving so far. Is the fact that people are not honest about how they feel or view this guy. And it's also really weird because it goes back to what we said. You can only see a few people be consistent where they never liked him from the beginning. And I think Charlemagne did make a fair point because he was consistently saying that he wasn't really into Drake's music. Even Jay Prince, who claims that Drake is a son to him. Jay Prince said he never liked Drake's music.
I don't like all of that, but we'll sign him.
Right, but a lot of other people, they be fake all fucking day. Like the whole, if someone is not hip hop or you don't think they're in there, then you wouldn't pay them any attention.
Well, I mean, look how we all ignored Iggy.
That's another great one.
All right, we didn't. She ain't hip hop. We didn't celebrate it. We didn't push it. You know, we didn't keep it going. Nothing. Iggy dropped off the face of the earth. She came back trying to rap like Megan Thee Stallion. It still didn't work. All right. So going back to this situation here, what are you about to say? You say you can't be what?
No. You go ahead.
No, you didn't want to finish it? All right. Yeah, you can't listen. Look, realistically, Jay-Z knows what's up. When we get past the YouTube commentary wars, the YouTube reactor wars, I'm going to tell y'all something. And I said this before, and I saw so many people like, what, bruh? What do you mean? Street niggas, gangsters, everybody I done been around, they're listening to Jay-Z overtly. And when they changing their carburetor, they're listening to Drake. I'm not saying any other guys don't get listened to, but I'm telling you guys for a fact, dope dealing niggas bando niggas, trap slinging niggas, when they go through their rounds of Future, Old Shawty Low, all these other niggas, Drake is in the process too, and so is Jay. That is a fact.
Oh,
all
and,
right?
and to add to that, even the people say we want him to be hip hop. Why are you here then? Why do y'all be in Drake videos then? I don't be in people's fucking videos that I don't listen to their music or think they're not hip hop.
Somebody right now is live on Iggy Azalea. I'm not in the live stream.
People have made videos about Jack Harlow, and I'm
not interested.
I've never went to one Jack Harlow video breakdown. Period.
No deep dives on Jack Harlow.
You cannot be fake.
That's all I'm saying. And the reason why, if some of the niggas in rap stop being fake, they would actually enjoy this. You actually guys will have more fun. I always say this before we get into anything else. Why would y'all co-sign a non-hip-hop act for 15 years?
Are y'all slow? How can somebody force 15 years on y'all? Stop it. You would have ignored the Pusha T fucking battle and said, yo, this nigga's not hip hop. I'm not interested in the story of Adidon. I'm not interested in Joe Budden dissing Drake. I'm not interested in Common dissing Drake. I'm not interested in Rick Ross dissing Drake. I'm not interested.
You know what? And you know what's crazy about that? And I think Joe Budden, when he put down the mic, before he put down the mic and picked up the other mic, Joe Budden was one of the dopest metaphor punchline rappers. 6 Minutes of Death, go listen to that track. That's a classic fucking track. All right? But I did not care to listen to Joe Budden versus Drake. All right, at the time, but I understood why it was happening. I think Sin and I think we reviewed some of the tracks, but I didn't go back to the tracks. I didn't want to go back to it, but there were people that
I already knew that Joe Budden was gonna smoke Drake.
Like,
I mean,
3 tracks, 14 minutes apiece.
He's gone up against The Game and Royce, the 5'9".
Yeah,
So
like that whole slaughterhouse nigga shit. You know,
I didn't even have to.
It ain't even a question.
Didn't even have to.
And Drake knew what was up. He says, "Pump it up," and that was it, right?
He gave the white flag to that one because he didn't want no 10-minute records of him.
He didn't feel like doing it. But also, the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying here, saying that we're saying what we're saying, it's just like, I don't care if you like Drake or not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you like Drake or not. I don't care. I personally don't care. But it skews history, and I'm seeing people trying to do what American Heritage is doing, is erasing the history.
What you mean erasing the history in what way?
In hip-hop. Y'all are acting like American heritage niggas. Y'all trying to erase history. And there's a lot of folks that was jamming for 15 years to this nigga. There was a lot. I don't have to. Listen, I don't have to sell you on Drake. The industry sold you. Niggas that got 5 mics. Jay-Z got 2 5-mic albums and arguably 3 classics.
Yeah.
Nas got, you can argue 2, 3, some people say 4 classics. He said Drake is the deal. Jadakiss is a classic MC. Drake is the deal. All I'm saying, this is a good lesson for rap music and hip hop, because if it is true, then you could argue, including the fans, then they sold out the integrity of hip hop.
No, because this is the thing.
You get what I'm saying?
Like, you didn't even really like Drake music early on that much.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing that's so fake about some people in the audience, stop fucking lying. You know Nas was over there co-signing Drake.
So what happened?
Jay-Z was co-signing Drake.
What happened?
Ye was co-signing Drake.
What happened?
And now everybody's sitting here trying to pretend 2 YouTubers talking about this situation as being fake. Stop it. You know that there were a lot of old heads in the game that, just like when you saw on stage, when you saw The Game and Snoop and Dre, you know,
Kendrick Lamar, yeah,
they passed the baton to Kendrick. You saw basically Jay-Z and so many others, and like you said, even Jadakiss. Yeah. Jadakiss is Kiss is one of the most deadliest lyricists.
Yeah.
And people gonna sit up here and act like we're the ones making this shit up.
Jadakiss just sat down on that couch with Fat Joe, and what was it? The song with Billy, I Wanna Be Free. That record, Jadakiss said that's the record he's had on repeat.
Right. Y'all not gonna Charlemagne us.
Hell no.
We know what we talking about. We paid attention.
Y'all better move around.
We paid attention completely to the blog era. Because when Drake first came out and like you said was so far gone, I was like, oh, okay, all right, whatever. I hated Thank Me Later because at that time, like what you were saying, I was listening to Big Crit and Kendrick and the rest of them. But when he came out with Take Care, where he worked with album, Abel and him did that album, The Weeknd and Drake. And then he went on after that. But I saw, at the beginning of the blog era, I saw so many old heads co-signing Drake. And that he had one of the biggest bidding wars in the hip-hop industry. Yeah. So I'm like, I mean, I don't even know what people are talking about. And then all his peers were the ones from Kid Cudi to Kendrick at the time to Schoolboy Q.
There's a lot of niggas.
To A$AP Rocky. To Wale. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Big Sean.
No, we not going American Heritage, the blog era.
And they're trying to say we making something up. We remember what these people said.
What we talking about? What y'all doing? Y'all acting like those. Y'all didn't went and stole the servers.
And if Jay-Z, and if he wasn't that Jay-Z, who he arguing with?
Yeah.
Why go on stage? Why say anything about Drake? Like, come on.
That's what I like about the Nas iconography. You know, Nas, a lot of times he's just gonna respond if you're making enough noise for him. That's how he looks at it. So, you know, I keep telling y'all, like, every 5 years he's got to smack Jim Jones across the face. That's because Jim Jones really loves Nas, though.
He does. That's the thing we're talking about. Jim Jones keep talking shit about Nas, but he's a fan of Nas.
He's a fan of Nas. He loves Nas.
I would say he's a super fan of Nas.
He's a super fan of Nas.
And I personally think he antagonizes Nas because he wants to hear bars mentioning him.
I think he wants him to come on the Let's Talk About It, Let's Rap About It podcast. Right? So that's the reason why y'all see us be free, no pun intended, when we having our conversations. Unfortunately, people that then got American heritage up, they're like, yo, who y'all working for? Ourselves. You get what I'm saying? So I just don't respect that per se because it's disingenuous to the conversation. Realistically, like you said, eloquently saying, then who is Jay responding to now?
Like, why are so many hip hop artists responding to Drake? And then if we listen to y'all, then why are you celebrating Kendrick's victory over Drake?
Yeah, because then you should have celebrated Eminem's victory over Christina Aguilera.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all are not mentally consistent.
And it's not everybody in the chat, just to be clear.
No, I'm not talking. When I say mentally consistent, I'm not talking about everybody in the chat.
Right.
And I'm glad you said that so people don't think I'm shooting at them. What the fuck are you celebrating then? All over the place. Hey, this is why I'm saying, even when you look at hip hop industry, media, and all this, no one's consistent. Why are so many hip hop artists so eager to get into a battle with Drake if he's not hip hop? And what the fuck is everybody celebrating then? If he's Christina Aguilera, what are y'all yapping at y'all gums, bumping y'all gums for? Like this is some victory lap.
And I'm gonna tell you another side of it. The reason why I'm at to bring up the M and Aguilera situation. Could I hear that Eminem was a spitter? Yes. But because he talked about Carson Daly and Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera and Switch Me Chairs, P Solo had checked out. I was listening to DMX. I don't know what the fuck he talking about.
I didn't listen to that. I'm going to be honest either
with you. And the only time Eminem slid on my space, in my radar, is the Forgot About Drake joint. And I thought he was flowing. I felt he was in the pocket. I didn't really get into Eminem's music till the Eminem show. And I liked it. I liked the Eminem show, 8 Mile Eminem, and all the way up to when he was able to get in there with G Unit, and it had that shady G Unit aftermath era. I thought those are the eras that I liked of Eminem. But you know, when people was in my face, like I wasn't a hypocrite. I said, "Oh nah, I'm all right." He dissing like all them MTV whites.
We said that at the beginning of our show.
And I said, "I'm good on it," and you know, but I wasn't following people around policing them either. So I said he's just not being played in my house when we was a child.
No. To add to your point, when people was like, "Yo, Eminem is the deadliest rapper," I said, "Where?" He lost against Rhymefest. He keeps rapping about pop stars. I'm not giving him no credit for defeating Kim Kardashian. That's corny.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying people can't have it both ways, because people are so excited every time somebody has a victory lyrically over Drake. Then what are you getting excited about?
Yeah.
If he's not in that space, and also to address hip hop, when he said well then that's the same energy with Jim Jones and Nas. Jim Jones is hip hop.
Jim Jones is not a pop star.
Jim Jones is hip hop. He's just not close to being to the level of a lyricist as.
But he has improved.
As Nas. No, he's improved a lot.
He's improved, because I know I was skipping Jim's verses back in the day.
Same here.
Yeah.
But he's still not on Nas level. And you know what? I'm glad you brought it up to hip hop. When people bring up Nas versus Jim Jones, I'm gonna actually savor this a little bit and take my time, because when people talk about Nas versus Jim Jones, they don't even consider it.
See that?
For all the people who keep saying somebody isn't hip hop, why do you keep considering? Why are you considering Jay-Z versus Drake? Why did you even entertain or consider Kendrick versus Drake? Why did you pay attention to Joe Budden versus Drake, or Pusha T versus Drake, or Common versus Drake? Why did you pay attention, and was you invested and interested in Drake versus Meek Mill?
Oh, don't forget the other one. Common versus Drake.
Yeah, that's what I brought up.
Stay scheming.
You know, it does not make any sense.
Does not compute.
Did you see people making a bunch of videos about Nas versus Jim Jones? No, nobody gave a fuck, because everybody know that Nas is superior.
People made videos to roast Jim Jones. Also, Too True says, so basically TC said that they was bumping Paul Wall back then because he was the people's champ over Eminem. You know, you laughing, but I would say maybe up until like the Eminem show and that whole G Unit shady aftermath run, I was listening to more Paul Wall.
I agree. No, yeah, when
Paul Wall and Chameleonaire.
When Eminem came out with the Eminem show and 8 Miles, I was like, yes, this is what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. You know, Eminem show classic album all the way through, no skips, but I couldn't do even the Marshall Mathers LP. I liked Stan and some other tracks, but it was too much glue eating shit on there, and I didn't like I don't like the only thing.
Remember me?
The only thing I don't like also about one of the tracks too, I didn't like the Moby thing. I forgot about that. The Moby thing I thought was corny. Like Eminem was trying to be tough, talking about, you know, a 43-year-old dude doing yoga who's bald-headed and bony. I mean, I don't understand how that was supposed to be something.
I get the humor of it. Like, listen.
And Mariah Carey did cook Eminem.
Well, I thought the comedy landed better on the Eminem show. Even when he was like lampoon, you know, to your point with, you know, Moby. I think the reason why I kind of liked Eminem's show much better than the previous efforts, because he was going back and forth with Cannabis. You know, he did get back with Cannabis on Square Dance, and then him and Dr. Dre was dissing the shit out of Jermaine Dupri on Say What You Say, and then Timberland came in at the end, you know. So I felt some of his shots felt a little bit more legit. But, you know, when he opened up with White America, I said,
White America.
That's what I want to talk about.
One of your kids.
Yeah,
White
that's
America.
what I said. Yeah, but, you know, absolutely. Up until then, I was listening to more Paul Wall and Chameleonaire. You know,
It's still-
and you know they were definitely to me a dope duo.
I just don't think people know what to do with Drake because they're not consistent at all. And again, when I say they, I'm not talking about everybody in the chat. It's bizarre because like even people who are hip hop, which is Jim Jones and Nas, nobody entertained it.
No.
People keep entertaining things with Drake, but then saying, I don't think he's hip hop, but I'm going to keep entertaining him as hip hop. Yeah. And they have done this for 15 years. And it's actually his superpower because technically Drake don't have to listen to what anybody says because they keep including him in hip hop. So even if they say, yo, you not hip hop. Oh man, yo, I'm excited. Yo, Jay-Z versus Drake. I'm listening.
Because think about when Pharrell says on stage, and you know who I'm talking about. The people didn't get excited because it was 50 Cent. You know, the last time this happened when Jay-Z was up there like that, I'm about $1. Who the fuck is 50 Cent? And the crowd went crazy. It's kind of like the same effect when Pharrell said, and y'all know who I'm talking about. Who are you talking about? It ain't Nas. Nas on stage with him. Who are the people getting excited about? Right? So I think that's a part of Drake's brand is to have that acceptable dejection. I think that's a part of the brand. And whether people in hip hop is bullshitting or not, I think they're along for the bullshit ride themselves. You get what I'm saying? You know, it's kind of like when they had Soulja Boy, you know, when he landed in Compton and he said, I'm in Bompton. And somebody said, hey, man, get your hands from around me. Like, did I believe that, like, Soulja Boy was, like, out there being a pyro? No, but am I entertained? Yes.
No, yeah. I think people don't understand, like, the lack of consistency because even there was one time when Drake went with that bony white girl and everybody said he's out of hip-hop. So he was trolling. He's like, okay, I'm out of hip-hop. So I'm going to go over here with this white girl. I'm going to lay in them Goodwill sheets, like you said, Salvation Army.
Bobby Atloff.
Yeah, I'm going to lay in the bed. And because hip-hop media and purists and all them all of a sudden is saying I'm not hip-hop after saying for years that I was hip-hop, okay, I'm over here just chilling. Then all the people who said he wasn't hip-hop said, why aren't you going on hip-hop platforms?
You know what? Nobody wants to talk about it, but a lot of people that act like that in rap, they're in Marvin's room.
Yeah.
They're Marvin's room.
It's kind of like when you say, it's always like when you act like you're not interested in a chick, but then when she's talking to somebody else, like you're
really? You just gonna walk past me?
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It's really bizarre, but people want you to play along. But
well, no, go back to that real quick, and then I want you to continue. Okay, if it's not hip hop, you know, why is there a conversation about going to hip hop platforms?
That's what I'm saying, and no one wants to answer these questions. Yeah. It's like if someone isn't hip hop, why are you begging them to be on hip hop platforms to have a hip hop conversation?
It's kind of like what Ebro said. Ebro said Drake is a disease, but then he was excited about the Iceman drop. And even the hip-hop purists that was believing in Ebro's gospel, they were confused. They said, huh? And I said, let me tell y'all something real quick. For as long as I've been listening to what's been going on with Drake, it has always been like that, damn near. Because I was listening to the YRN era of the Migos, Pipe It Up and all of that stuff. And then we get to Versace, and then Drake jumps on the Versace remix, right? Those are the spaces I was typically in, like, you know, Rick Ross shit. You know, I was over in them spaces when Nas drop an album, I'll go listen. Okay, Nas says hip-hop is dead. Okay, cool, everybody tight, right? But I don't know, and I'm kind of thinking, I don't know, it's something did get shifted because there was one point in time, if you did say Drake wasn't hip hop, a lot of people would yell at you that he was.
That's why I'm saying no one makes any sense. Because like people talk about the ghostwriting. Everything you could think of that's negative about Drake, we already touched on. People who are the biggest, I guess, in opposition of Drake, the people who feel like he needs to be out of hip hop. Some of these same people were arguing in our chat when ghostwriters was talked about, when all this stuff with Drake was talked about. Y'all, it's like flip-floppy. And then they want you to be flip-floppy. It's like, I hate him. And when they're in the mood of saying, I hate him, they want you to be over there and be like, I hate him. Then when they switch up and they be like, I love him, then they want you to switch up and be like, I love him. It's bizarre.
Yeah, you know, and I think, but again, I think that's a part of Drake's brand. The popular rejected guy, you know, and I think that's what it is. And, you know, like I stated earlier, you know, when we was breaking down, I said, no, if, you know, Drake attempts to play the same game that Kendrick is going to play, he's definitely not going to be able to beat that situation. And not only that, it was a bunch of niggas that came outside in 2024. And the public was like, what's going on, right? That's why they called it the Great Hip Hop Civil War, right? And realistically,
society said it's mind games.
Yeah, realistically, I'm gonna be real with y'all. It's like when KRS-One was dissing Nelly, you know, and he was talking about, you know, capitalism and, you know, all of this other shit. And you know, when I was watching the DVDs, I was like, all right, man, whatever, right? It would tell you why I took that stance. I was like, yeah, you know, because you know, that means you got to criticize like records like Big Pimpin' by Jay-Z and the gangster rap and all this stuff, which KRS-One did have some criticisms, right? But I felt KRS-One just wanted the attention, right? Because moving on forward, Nelly wasn't really... Actually, I could even argue that Nelly was not injected in MC conversations. If you really be honest, like Nelly was seen as a regional rap star, lot of charisma, knockout hits, but even at one point in time, they mistakenly classified Nelly's music as a part of the Dirty South. And he had to come out and say, no, this is a Midwest swing here. But nobody said they were putting him in the same conversation as lyricists.
First of all, when
right?
he said that nobody cared, they still put him Dirty South.
Right, because he had a gold tooth.
Yeah, they
right, and they do that with St. Louis niggas.
They put him in the Dirty South conversation
because
no matter what.
Yeah, because some of the St. Louis styling does give you some.
We're going down, baby.
It's giving you some Dirty Rice energy. That's why you're seeing, like, if people did a No Look Twice, they would have thought Sexy Red was from the South. You get what I'm saying? But no, that's St. Louis. That's all St. Louis style, right? They got their own style, right? So I personally at the time, I wasn't really understanding KRS's conversation because I was like, well, he's not in the rap conversations like that. Like when I went to Nelly's Country Grammar, I knew it wasn't Stillmatic. You get what I'm saying? And also, I didn't want to get in a situation where we trying to make every rapper sound, act, and think the same. I don't want Nas doing records like Nelly. You get what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
So, like, that's the thing I didn't understand. And actually, Nelly, him and Eminem back in the day were trading shots with each other. You know, now Nelly never said I'm the top lyricist, but he also told Eminem to check his tone.
He said, "I still cook you, white boy."
Because you know Eminem, because you know Eminem was back then. Because he was like, "Look, I need a black body," so that's why he took shot at Mace, talking about like you can't see me.
But back then, like Eminem was dressing similar to Nelly back then.
Yes. He was. He had the do-rag. This is
all he needed was the
y'all know my favorite era of Eminem is do-rag shady. I keep telling y'all that. That is America. Right there. Do-rag shady. Right? But, you know, I just think the conversation is very interesting. And I think Jay-Z, this dynamic between Jay-Z and Drake, as we said before, it really boils down to generational and cultural influence.
No, to your point, sometimes this is starting to bore me because of people's lack of consistency. And at this point, it's just mind games because you just want to talk about him just to talk about him then.
Yes.
Because if you're not coming to a conclusion, what's the conclusion? What's the ending? Are we going to keep going through this cycle for 15 years where people say he's not hip-hop but then get excited when he's battling?
A hip-hop nigga.
It's like people, they don't understand you're not being consistent.
Well, it does also empower the Drake dynamic. Because, listen, I'm going to keep it trill with y'all. Kendrick and Drake getting down in the ring, fighting, throwing them haymakers at each other. I was like, man, this is the fight we were looking for. I was honest with you all. Sin was honest with you all.
What was the tension for 10 years? What's the footsies for?
Yeah, I was like,
what y'all getting worked up for then?
Everybody wanted to hear the records. So it's like I'm not going to sit there and like for 10 years be like, man, I can't wait for M and Christina to diss each other. It doesn't make sense. Well, yo, what type of record that Christina got for Slim? I can't wait for that shit. That ain't what I was looking for. And it was one of the reasons why I did not care about Eminem when I was growing up. It wasn't that he was white. It was that he was fighting MTV whites.
We was waiting.
I didn't care.
We was waiting for Eminem versus somebody else.
Somebody that I care about.
An actual rapper.
And you know what M said when he did his first comeback? And I had got irritated with this interview. This was the first interview I got irritated with Slim Shady on. Eminem said, you know, when I was going to come back, I was going to diss Kanye West, Lil Wayne. He said T-Pain. He was going to do all of this. Was for the relapse era of Eminem when he was doing the Scottish or Irish accent.
Oh, yeah, like T.I. and all that, right?
He was going to diss it. And he said then he changed his mind. And I remember I clicked off the computer. I said, why didn't you do that? That would have... In fact, I remember I had partners I was debating. I said if he had done that, that would have put Eminem in a different conversation.
Yeah, with me, I was just waiting for Eminem to be like versus a T.I. or something like that. I don't care about Christina Aguilera, and I'm glad that you keep saying it so people can keep understanding. All the hip-hop industry platforms and stuff who claim Drake isn't hip-hop, no one's listening to y'all because you still get excited about him in hip-hop spaces. And it don't make any sense. So, like you said, nobody like anticipating like Eminem with some pop star and they had tension for years. Like, oh, yeah, we really want to hear the battle.
No, that was white tea. No, like the white tea people, they were excited about Justin and M. I didn't care about it.
That we shouldn't be having this tension then. Jay-Z and Drake, this tension for years. What is going to happen?
Because the Whisper My Name, it was a hot track.
Kendrick versus Drake, the tension was there for years. What's going to happen?
I was interested in Kendrick versus Drake. I was invested. I'm not going to lie to you all, and I'm telling you all from So Far Gone, and then I dipped out of there. Now, when he showed up with his verses on Migos mixtapes, because I was listening to Migos, or when he showed up on the Tony Montana mixtapes with Future, Tony Montana, because I was listening to a bunch of Future mixtapes, I was like, all right, it was a good verse. You know, it was cool. You know, it made the song, you know, overall the song is a knocking record, right? But I'm not into Take Care. I'm being honest with you all. Let me tell you something real quick, because Sin is very frank with y'all too when it comes to what our hip hop taste is.
Yeah, I don't lie to people. I don't care what other people like or don't like. I'm not gonna sit and feel no shame. I let y'all know what I listen to and what I like or don't like. 2
albums I've had associates tried to convince me to listen to in person, or
Forest Hill Drive and Take Care.
Yeah, Forest Hill Drive. I had 2 different partners. They were like, they played the album for me. They was like, bro, you don't like Cole? I said, I don't have nothing against Cole. I'm not into this record. I'm not into this album. You know, and then it was Take Care. Now, guys was playing Take Care when they was like, we was all sitting in I don't know, we was snapping about something, playing something, cards or some shit like that. And we had a conversation about Drake, right? And then another time, when I was chilling with people and they were playing Take Care, and then a woman She was like, so you not into Take Care? I said the practice track is nice. I think he had the joint with Rick Ross, the Underground King, and on the deluxe, I think he had Model, but I like E40 music too, right? But I just said, no, at the time I wasn't into it. That's when I had somebody call me. They say, yo, you got to check out If You're Reading This Is Too Late. I was like, nah, I'm not into the Take Care shit. It's cool. Y'all go do your thing. They said, no, man, you're going to like it. I listened to it. He had the chopped and screwed Genuine samples. Drake was just rapping on that fucking album. The track company with him and Travis Scott, they got great chemistry. I called them back. I said, you know what? He got me right here. This track, this mixtape here, if this is a mixtape album and then Nothing Was the Same, I like that. And then when he did the, what was the joint that came after that? Where he was sitting on the needle.
Views.
Yeah, I checked out. It's not a bad album, but I was like, nah, y'all can have that one.
Yeah, for me, again, Entry, Take Care, I didn't think that was a bad album. I thought it was a good album. I liked what Abel put into it. I liked the features on it and some of the R&B flips on hip-hop tracks and then the hip-hop flips on the R&B tracks. Nothing Was the Same. If You're Reading This Is Too Late, you know. Right. And I would say maybe... Views, I like Western Roads and all that. But the thing is that it's still just so weird about this whole psyop. People are at a standstill, and I think one of the reasons why even us are articulating this, the reason why Drake is not all the way out of the ring, it just goes back to people don't know what to do with him. They don't. If you don't know how you feel about somebody.
Ooh. Like Charlemagne and Academics.
They have the advantage as long as they don't fuck it up. Like even with Mr. White. Thank you for joining us in the chat, by the way. You said that we know why people are tired of Drake because he's a POS. A lot of rappers are POS.
Ooh, mystical.
Yeah.
Mystical is a POS.
I'm gonna be honest. A lot of rappers are POS, so I don't even think it's really that. I think at first,
sometimes you meet some of the rappers y'all like, you find out why some of them get shot.
At first, people were about to kick Drake out forever, you know, with a lot of the rumors and stuff of trafficking and you know, people were talking about that. But then, you know, people who were pro Drake, they went back and talked about the TDE sexual assault lawsuit. And then people brought up that day. What's that day? What's his name? Paul Boy?
Which one?
Dejan?
Oh, yeah, Dejan
no,
Paul.
He was talking about Isaiah.
Yeah.
And people talk about Rock Nation. And then Fat Joe at one time had a trafficking lawsuit, although the trafficking part got dropped. And it's just a lawsuit on the person wanting their money. And it's like, you know how many sexual assault lawsuits there are in hip-hop?
In the entertainment industry, period.
Yay.
Yeah.
TDE, OVO.
Yeah, who don't got it?
I mean, like, so.
I think the cleanest record label right now is Dreamville. The Dreamers.
The Dreamers may have it.
Yeah, I can't speak.
Anybody in the chat,
anybody from Dreamville get accused of anything?
Did anyone in the Dreamers get accused of a sexual assault lawsuit or anything? Y'all let us know in the chat.
Yeah, y'all let us know, because I don't want to speak too fast.
But, like, people woke up and was like, if Drake gets caught doing something, sure, but they said for now, no, because they all got rumors and allegations.
Yeah, so, you know, and that's the only thing about it. Now, where Jay-Z's going to go with it is going to be very interesting because, I'm going to be real with y'all. Look. You guys going to come back and look at the stream and be like, you know what, dog? They were right. I was in my feelings. Jay-Z is the final boss of rap. And I don't know how a non-rap hip-hop nigga gets to the final boss. He came out with the shades. He cut the hair. Skateboard piece, spilled the beans. He's telegraphing the punches. He said I can't wait for you to kill niggas. And I said, this is going to be interesting. But Sin and I, we know what's been going on, and we told you guys since, 2018? You know, not that we just kept like, oh my God, it's coming. No, we just brought it up. And, you know, there's some other people that we had a chance to chop it up with as well. And
Also-
industry people are saying, they've been saying behind the scenes that this was going to happen anyway.
Also, DJ Cloud said that's why Cole backed out, because he got them skeletons in his closet. That could be true too. You never know. I said Uzi Vert didn't have anything. Then the next day, he had a sexual
I was
assault.
surprised that you said that, Sam.
No, but he didn't.
Yeah.
And then I said it, and
I
then,
bet.
and then a couple weeks later, then they said, look, Uzi Vert with a sexual assault lawsuit.
Yeah, 'cause, you know.
So I'm like, I be careful. Like, you
gotta
say
be
somebody
careful
not
with Uzi
in something,
Vert.
and the next
You acting
day
like Kodak Black's cousin.
they get hit with something.
Yeah.
So
Yo,
you never
so
know with people in the industry.
I'm gonna be real with you all, and I will say I don't know what the angle is going to be that Jay is going to take, because I will say tactically, Jay-Z is good with the first shot. He did it to Nas, and he hit him hard. So
I mean, that's why
people thought Nas was not going to come back. Even Sway, you know, y'all go check out some of Sway's old interviews. Sway, at the time when they were covering it, nobody thought that Nas even stood a chance. In fact,
because
people
it was perfect.
Yeah, people was lumping Nas in the same space directly with Mobb Deep, even though Mobb Deep and Nas have had incredible chemistry over the years. Their career paths were a little bit different. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, no, you said it was perfect.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, it was perfect, and that's why people were shocked when Nas came out with Ether.
It felt like an upset.
It's one of the best, you know, my personal opinion, one of the best diss records of all time,
Right.
in hip hop history. But even when I'm gonna be honest with you, if we try to change the conversation into morality, like some people want in the chat about, you know, the white people aspect, I don't disagree with you. I think all of them are disrespectful when it comes to the whole white people. But what am I going to say when people seem to just be constantly moving around? You know, there's only so much you could do when people don't want to be consistent with that. Schoolboy Q said white people go to his concert so they can say the N-word. Kendrick let a white girl say an N-word on stage, and then he corrected the second time around. He said he don't do that no more, and he corrected the second one. He also said Iggy was hip-hop. Kendrick said Iggy was hip-hop. Lupe said Iggy Azalea was hip-hop. You also had a situation where with Jay-Z, when it comes to
Lady Sovereign.
Lady Sovereign, you had
That was wild.
what's his name out from Oakland who fucked up with them two crackhead white girls.
Oh, you talking about when Mr. Fab came out to defend V Nasty and Creation?
And them,
Yeah.
and he's
That was the only thing I was disappointed in Mr. Fab at the
Mr.
time.
Fab is very much so hip hop, but he allowed two.
I was like, come on, Fabby Davis. Damn.
He allowed two crackheads to say the N-word.
Yeah.
And then you have Drake with his friend, what's his name, the country singer?
I know you're talking about him and the Aiden Ross boy.
Yeah, say the N-word.
Yeah.
And then you have Beyonce do music with Post Malone. He said the N-word.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to the industry blacks. They kind of all over the place. I told y'all they chill with everybody, allegedly.
I mean, if y'all would have us here all day
going through that. And I'm not doing it. That's a boring conversation.
going through the files of everyone.
Y'all gonna have us sounding like C-SPAN.
I'm saying
I'm not doing that.
It's only boring if you're not going to spank everybody for their sins.
And for me, that's why it is boring.
Waylon, thank you.
Waylon. Yeah, because now you're trying to, I'm not going to be fake serious for everybody else not
Snoop
to
Dogg has done it multiple times. I mean, the list goes on. Nicki Minaj.
I know, and the conversation is even drying up.
But I'm just saying, who hasn't?
I know, but the reason why I have to ignore niggas with
Jelly Roll. They brought up Jelly Roll when he was on the game saying the N-word. Yeah, and Prince thought that was a black man when he did it.
Yeah, because people tell me there's of course, because I kept asking West Coast niggas. I said, yo, please tell me there's a fat black nigga in the West Coast named Jelly Roll. And somebody said, that is true, but when you go to Spotify and you click on Jelly Roll on the documentary too, it takes you to the white boy.
And also, to be consistent, like
Egos.
It was years ago we said the alt-right and the alt-left has taken over hip-hop, even with Ye. Yeah, he sold out the crazy records over there in Romania, but
That man put on a Klansman hoodie.
he had a Klans hoodie on.
Bro, it was a lot.
What? Tyler the Creator
Yeah, Nick Fuentes.
Tyler the Creator was selling Klan merchandise, and we still listen to his recent albums that are pretty good.
Chromacopia.
Yeah, great album.
Right.
But
we got to be real about that, y'all. We're gonna be real about it across the board, and then if you don't want to have a conversation, stop bringing it up. That's how I am. Like, I just don't like all that. That's why I said what I said early on. I don't like halftime crooks. I don't like fake villains. I don't like puffish niggas. I don't like any of that. I even moving around, I didn't like when niggas was flashing a gun and like, what are you doing?
Diddy said J-Lo was black.
She is not black. I don't care how many times she used a toothbrush for baby hairs.
Yeah,
she is not black.
P. Diddy said the reason why J-Lo running around saying she was black. Diddy said, yeah, I said she was black. She's black.
It's hip hop. There's no listen.
And every
the rapper is not to be taken serious. I'm not trying to be funny. I want to hear y'all music. I don't want to hear y'all conversations on race. Trust me, please. I'm good. I'm perfectly fine. I don't need it. I don't want to hear y'all to have those conversations.
And on this platform, we've been consistent. We talked about everybody, but then after a while, it's like speaking into an echo because it's like nothing happens. Like what? I mean, like some people decide to become more mature. I'll give you that. Some people change and be like, nah, that wasn't cool what I did, years ago. Allowing
like Chance the Rapper did.
Yeah.
That was a great moment. That was a great moment that wasn't talked about enough.
Yeah, like allowing a white person to say the N-word or having a white friend that says the N-word and all that. I mean, like, but that's why even, like, look at Fantano, the situation. Like, people wanted to save Fantano and just only get rid of Dirt or save Dirt, get rid of Fantano. It's like...
So y'all can have it.
It's like at some point, I'm at the point where I just, like, don't bother me. Because at this point, I get what's going on. Industry people, it's going to be selective based off of who music you like.
It's that simple.
So that's what we've seen with people. We're like, okay, if a black person allowed a white person to do something that black people don't think is cool, but black people like that black person's music, they're going to give it a pass. So Drake fans, give it a pass for Drake. Kendrick fans have given it a pass with Kendrick. Cole fans and so on and so forth. When Cole was out there with Adam 22, and he's done bizarre things. He's like, so at this point, I don't even have nothing to say anymore. I'm tired.
Don't keep going down these old raggedy train tracks.
No, I'm saying,
you know why? Let me tell you why. Fuck all this shit. Black people fucked up when they said Bill Clinton was black.
That was the boule though.
That was it.
That's the black. That was the black boule.
It started there. That's why I'm not going. Listen, let me tell y'all something. I'm going to call the fight, and that's what I'm here to do. I'm not going to sit up here and have these damn Madame Noir conversation with niggas that don't care. Okay, black people messed up when they said Bill Clinton was black.
That was the boule class though. They did say he was that Bill Clinton was black.
And the non-boule black should have fought back. Them niggas went to McDonald's.
They didn't fight back.
They ain't fight back. They was too distracted with Eddie Murphy. Okay? Great comedian, but come on now. Let's stop all the bullshit.
To Prince's point, and also what I'm bringing up, look, we've been very consistent over the years with this. I'm tired, bro. People are fucking adults. I cannot patrol grown-ass people, and I don't want to. I'm tired. I don't care. We did we warned people before it happened. We said, look, guys.
They're coming.
The alt-right is coming into hip-hop, and so is the alt-left. You know who was a part of that? Tyler, the Creator. He was doing that alt-left shit. Ye brought in the alt-right. So did so many other people in hip-hop I'm talking about with the backers and the investors and donors. We already called it before it happened, and it still happened, and it's still going on.
Well, now the other side of it, back to the focus here, though. But, yeah, outside of that, that's why, the same shit you're using to get Drake up out of here, you can really pick any other darker skinned nigga rapping and you can get him up out of here for the same reasons. Okay? You know, so like I said, I don't go down into that conversations and I don't want to debate people. I'm not going to be on folks' panels trying to talk about the different levels of blackness. You know, when most of the people say, you know, they don't see color.
Also,
race is a social construct.
Also,
you know, so we got to be real about that. You know,
Prince,
at the end of the day, just enjoy the battle or the fight. You know, choose your favorite rapper.
Just one correction real quick. Chilson said that Cole ran down on Adam 22 because dude was playing with his name. Okay, I'll double check on that. Go ahead, Prince.
So I will be interested, though. Listen, look, Jay-Z, that's the final rap boss. That's the final rap boss.
Prince, before you get back on the hip hop stuff, people are going on the add to the point. They say like, yeah, Vic Mensa was wearing a Confederate patch.
Oh yeah, Vic Mensa said he was gonna slap academics
with the Confederate patch on.
I saw that. Y'all know me. I'm from the South, so you know that Georgia flag. I said, nigga.
And we've already made so many.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's like when Kid Rock came out with the flag and he was trying to talk about it. I said, you from Detroit.
Yeah, and also, Mr. Wright, like, we made so many documentaries on these things. Like, when nobody was talking about Jeffrey Epstein in hip-hop in 2015, we talked about him. We broke down the Trump administration. We said the alt-right was coming. And not just the alt-right, the alt-left. That's what y'all seeing with Bernie Sanders right now. What person I realize, it don't matter what you say before it happens. It don't matter what you predict. It don't matter what you keep saying. Adults are going to do what adults are going to do.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And
so stop stressing yourselves out.
And if it's either transformation happens the easy way or it happens the hard way.
Just like Jay-Z's on stage with a bulletproof vest. I told y'all the nigga was coming outside, you know. Just like we said that there was a problem between LeBron James and Drake. And it took the industry podcaster 6 months to say it. I saw it first on Joe Budden 5 months after we said it. That somebody, I think it was Ice, he looked at the cast. He said, are we going to talk about Joe Budden? He said, are we going to talk about Drake and LeBron's issues? And it was like, right? Because they already know there's already issues, you know, in that space. So I just think also there's a dynamic where what do you say when you have those dynamics? Like, you know, you saw what happened with all of the Iceman, and it dropped to 3 albums, and the nigga did like a million in 2 weeks or something like that, and people went in everywhere and tried to front like that wasn't a deal. I said, y'all can't do that now. We can't do that because just like we called Mace and Cameron out for talking about you for, and Mace was being cheeky. Mace know damn well.
Say Mace was being cheap.
Yeah, Mace know damn well when he listened to Euphoria. Go listen to Mace's initial response. He knew Kendrick had bars on there. He gonna go like this, but nah, it was 17 days.
That's what I'm saying, B. I don't think it's a bad track, yo.
That nigga knew he heard bars on that record.
Like what you said, May, 17 days is really long.
17 days.
I was like, bro, shut up.
Come on now, all right? It take a longer for certain niggas to binge watch their favorite show on Netflix, all right? But yeah, overall, if we're talking about morality, let me tell you one of the reasons why I'm saying I really do. I know people may not like this. I actually kind of enjoy the Jay-Z and Drake shit because it's an amoral battle.
No, I get what you're saying because it's kind of like
it's an amoral battle.
People don't like. I don't pick sides with people in Hollywood anymore. To me, they're all different shades of each other. We had Dr. Scott on our show sometime. Y'all know he's right-hand man with Donald Trump.
Right, yeah.
Some people like, why? Because he brought great information about people in Hollywood. The reason why Prince and I are not surprised that Snoop and Rick Ross and all of them are over there, because we talked to Dr. Scott and he said, we was like, Dr. Scott, so what's going on? Like, tell us what black people are really down and who's over there really with Trump. Dr. Scott said almost all of Black Hollywood was over there with Trump, including LeBron allegedly trying to get deals. He said Nina. He said,
why would I move to Memphis? I mean, shit, it's disgusting. The air.
Shouts out to Memphis.
And some of the people he named at the time was pro-Democrat or anti-Trump. So, in the publicly anti-Trump. behind the scenes pro-Trump, and then later on some of these people will become publicly for Trump. So we talked to him and he was like, we wanted to understand how much of a shark industry people are, and how two-faced they can be, and it's no hating, go do your game, do what you do, whatever. But it was like, he was like, even a lot of the Bernie supporters who are black in Hollywood and all that was also open of being for Trump.
Well, you see what's happening right now. You having people come out talking about that black leadership has defanged the white liberal Democrat leadership. Newsflash, y'all never had no teeth. All gums. It's the black folks that got everything popping. Everybody knows that. So, now you're seeing like, look, why is the messaging the same on the far right and the left? Now it's overtly anti-black. And sending out, we said, it's not going to be like MAGA. We told you guys this. But there will be another movement that's going to come out of the left. They're doing the
we
guys.
We called it the alt left.
Yeah, we called it the alt left.
We called it the alt left years ago. Yeah.
And they're going to come out and look to try to uproot black people culturally and publicly and politically. And now you're seeing some of these dark money groups and these dark private equity firms funding these quote-unquote thought leader personality programs, and they're talking about black presence is defanging white leadership. But like we stated before, just like we talked about with the rappers, and unfortunately for some of the black celebrities, they've already been in bed with a lot of these folks. So they're trying to sell you on a situation like, let's be real, when they're talking about getting the minds of America, they're talking about angry white men, angry young white men, young white men, young white men, young Platinum, young white men, Trump, young white men, Ben Shapiro, young white men, young white men, young white men, right? And now you're seeing the conversation happen publicly. And unfortunately, some people who have believed in these political personality programs, they're shocked right now. But sitting down, we talked to you guys about this, and this is going to be a very interesting show to watch, how some of the media that's supposed to be quote-unquote black friendly, black adjacent, or black position, how they're going to have to navigate this, because a lot of their donors and their backers are also in support of this as well. In many regards, this is one of the reasons why you're seeing an aspect of black Hollywood and even the black entertainment industrial complex getting their strings clipped.
Believe it or not, though, the NFL We Pass Kneeling thing is a part of it.
Yes, it is.
All of the celebrities who pledged their allegiance to Kaepernick and said, Kaepernick can't get kicked out of the NFL by Trump are now either supporting Trump or they were on stage with Jay-Z.
Kiss the ring.
They kissed the ring.
Yeah.
So this is why I said, like, you only got a certain amount of energy every day. I don't have any time to, and Prince and we don't have no time to waste energy on useless causes.
It ain't no time.
You know, our focus is on reparations, some other things that I won't be saying what we're working on, but y'all eventually will know when the time is right. But what's they call when you like shaving off the fat? Any bloated topic about a bunch of...
You like Xbox?
Yes, like with a bunch of industry people. I don't care about none of their politics. I don't care about chasing after Drake and saying get rid of him, or chasing after Kendrick and saying he's a hypocrite, or chasing after Jay-Z all day. We made our 2 videos on Jay-Z, why the Target thing was a bad look, and we moved on. I don't have time to be constantly chasing after these adults. There's more important things that Prince and I have to do when it comes to community stuff. I don't have time chasing after celebrities, and I do not care at this point in my life anymore. Like Prince said, I want to have fun talking about this, these hip hop topics. If you in love with Kendrick or Jay-Z or Drake or Cole or whoever, have at it. That's great that those are your guys. For us, we want to talk about where people have advantages in this whole battle. Now, where Jay-Z advantage is him being very seasoned. He's been here for 30 years. You saw even the people he had on stage,
right.
you know, with him.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what takes place.
And you can't be impulsive with Jay-Z, even if you think he's outdated or any of those things. I mean, you even saw what Charlemagne was able to do when Academics was over there having a debate with him.
Yeah, I think Academics got a little bit too cocky with Charlemagne because he's looking at he's kind of looking at the positive indicators in the lane that he's in. But, you know, when you're going into somebody else's territory, you actually got to get rid of the thought of the perception of all those people that are congratulating you in your bubble. Because, you know, if you're a battle rapper and you're a New York nigga and you're going to Detroit to battle their champion in front of Detroit niggas, fuck what the niggas are saying about you in New York. I'm in Detroit now. I got to convince this audience. Also, shouts out to Descendo says here, appreciate you all. I am an Escobarian. Let's go, Esco. Man, that's what I'm talking about. Shouts out to you.
And I understand that too, because, you know, I want to say what I do really love about the Nas fans. Y'all did not get mad at us when we talked about Nas saying Gwyneth Paltrow could say the N-word, which is a key point that we're making here with all these artists. Like, I'm not running at the people. But at the same time, personally, I have also talked about the great things that Nas did, like Mass Appeal, the love to hip-hop that he's shown with Slick Rick and the rest of them. And, you know, even when...
That Hit Boy run was fire.
Magic, my favorite one.
Yeah, I was telling y'all when we first heard the, what was it, King Disease? I had made a joke. I said, yo, them niggas need to do 5 more albums, but I didn't know that shit was coming.
Yeah, like, it's about what question you ask us. Like, I'm not going to lie. I'm sorry. I don't care how much you're in love with someone, but it's like, if you ask the right question, you're going to get the answer you like. Like, if someone asks, you know, do you think Nas love hip-hop? Absolutely. Mass Appeal, the Hit Boy run with the great chemistry. Talk about more beautiful things that Nas did. If someone says, was Nas being a hypocrite with the Casino? Yes, he was. If someone says, does Kendrick has one of the best hip-hop catalogs? Yes, he does. If someone says, you know, does he take his writing serious and all that? We will say yes. He's also a great performer. But if people be like, did Kendrick ever do anything? He's never done anything wrong in hip-hop. I'll be like, no. He said Iggy was hip-hop. And there's other things I can go into. So it depends on what question you ask. Like, people ask certain things about Drake. Yes, he has ghostwriter allegations. You know, he also had rumors of being very tough in business. You know, not as to the same level as Jay-Z when, you know, I'm raping Def Jam till I'm the $100 million man. But OVO Sweatshop, everybody has rumors about the OVO Sweatshop and how, you know, they have that situation going on. Just so people can have some clarity.
I get what you're saying, yeah.
Everything depends on the question you ask pertaining to the answer you're gonna get.
Also, people need to stop being soft. I'll give it to the 90s niggas. This is where y'all win. A lot more crass and brutal era, you know, and there was a lot of stuff being said back then. I mean, Hit 'Em Up, man, that couldn't get recorded today. Just the damn ad-libbing at the end of Hit 'Em Up. And that was a conversation, too, because y'all got to understand on news talk radio, especially in the black spaces, right? The black radio stations when they were more prominent back then, they were having deep conversations like, you know, I want y'all to call in. What do you guys think about Tupac at the end of his record saying, my 4-4 is making sure all of your children don't grow? Do you have people, black folks, that are calling from all over the country? Well, man, I ain't really with what Tupac did, but, you know, if they set him up, they set him up, right? Those conversations were being had. I will say it's a bit online. It's a little bit too much of the softness. So I'm going to have the conversation about Jay-Z and Drake because Sin and I, we've been doing this and we've been very consistent, and I'm going to continue to have it because y'all enjoy it. I don't have no picks. I'll tell you where I think one nigga got an advantage, you know, where I think one nigga has to be careful about what the other nigga does. But if people listen to the chatter online, they're gonna make the mistake academics did going in there with Charlemagne.
Remember
you get what I'm saying?
Remember what we told people? We said industry podcasters and YouTubers were going to become so annoying that people were going to give Drake a second chance, and that happened. Look, it's about analyzing. Like, we don't have time to worry about people's feelings about people that they don't know, except for I do understand when people come into the chat and they're directly connected to the artist. Like, I don't get sensitive about what G Malone says about Kendrick because he knows Kendrick in real life. That's a real friendship there. That's a real relationship there. There are people who who have a really close relationship with Drake. Like, they know Drake in real life. So they're coming from a whole nother different perspective if they know Cole or if they know Kendrick or, Drake and all that. But so I get the sensitivity when it comes to those people. As for everybody else, like, this is just
back to it.
Conversation.
No, you're right about that. And again, if people want to have that stuff, that's fine. I will say it will be interesting. Pharrell did pretty much telegraph, and I'm pretty sure that was probably intentional, but it does make me think about earlier in the year when there was rumors about Jay-Z having an album, and people on different podcasts would say, no, there isn't a Jay-Z album. I said, there's a Jay-Z album, niggas. Maul alluded to it. And so, especially after the Iceman, because, come on now, if Iceman was really a flop, do you think Jay-Z would be outside then?
No.
Why not?
Jay-Z looks at the optics, and that's why I say people who be like, Iceman wasn't successful, that's a lie. Jay-Z would not have wasted not one subliminal nothing if Jay-Z felt that there wasn't something that needs to be taken care of.
He said taken care of.
He does. Like, there's so many people that Jay-Z has ignored because he's like, there's no point, and that's how I look at it as well. And also, Rail said Drake don't write his shit. Yes, we've heard some industry people say that, and then we've heard some industry people say he does write. And we are honest with y'all on that. There's certain things that we already talked about, the Quentin Miller situation.
That's well known. It's documented.
It's history.
But like even to that point, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nas said something. He said writers battling non-writers. And this is when he was talking about, I don't know, I think this might have been between his Untitled and Hip Hop is Dead era. If people kind of want to be honest, Nas actually has a stronger stripped down hip hop diet than Jay. Jay, one of the reasons why he was more commercially successful than Nas in the later aspects of his career, there's some things Jay was more liberal about concerning hip hop. That would be even to where we get to today, which is why somebody like Drake kind of patterned himself a little bit off of Jay-Z's aesthetics, and then he branched off into other territories. But
then there's also the writers' camp too. Like, it's like two different extremes. It's like the truth is somewhere in the middle. If he didn't write anything, then why the hell was he at a Dr. Dre's writers' camp?
It happens.
So
yeah,
because
somebody else said that.
Yeah, he was penning for people. Although he got kicked out of the writers' camp because I think what they say he wrote too much in the R&B style or something like that, allegedly. But obviously Drake does write. But there's also, come on now, there's certain things he did get away with that people would chastise if it was from other people. I think the thing where people start to ruin the conversation and why their competitors start to win is when you go overboard. Like, if you say, man, this person never writes, and then people are going to go and show evidence where they did write. And it's interesting because, like, we see this happen in media all the time where people they go way too much to an extreme when it comes to breaking down somebody. So much so that it's like, what's the point of even listening to this conversation anymore if we're gonna all just start lying?
Well, I don't listen to the conversation. I have our own conversations, but I'm not interested. I do see some people with some interesting talking points, but I'm not interested. Look, it's like I bring up with the conversation with Lou and Dot, right? Yeah, I mean, if you want to take the idea of somebody being an obnoxious personality, that's perfectly fine. But if you're talking about bar structure, it's okay to have that conversation about bars and Kendrick and Lupe. You know, again, we've like, it's kind of gotten into the strange space where, you know, people feel like I don't want to really. I want to have a conversation about personality. And I think that's a byproduct of influencer culture, because there are influencers that don't have any talent, that you don't know what the fuck they do. It's sometimes people just like the way they look, you know? Then you have influencers, they're directing, they're screenwriting, they're doing storyboarding, they're editing, they're doing their own stuff, they're doing their own voiceovers, they're doing their own choreography. And I think influencer culture has also become a lens that certain rap fans are starting to look at these rappers through as well.
No, that's a good point. Like, for someone to have the run that Drake had, do you think he could get away with that with just stealing everything? Like, everything, if everything was stolen, if he didn't write not a single thing, how would he have been able to sustain?
It's either that or, like, that would be a bad look on all of the gangster rappers in the industry. That'd be a bad look on all of the MCs in the industry. That would be a bad look on the whole culture. I mean, that means he would have had a greater lick than Bernie Madoff.
Yeah. That means, like, if some people say that they think it's true that he didn't write none, that he's just completely a shell company, then that means every single person around him, they're all liars. That means there's none of the rappers are not even a little sense of honesty, if that is the case.
Now, my honest opinion, to the point what Sin is making, and she's making some great points here, and I'm going to get to your chat, OT. Shouts out to you. We appreciate you. Here's my thing. And I'm going to go back to Cole, where Cole, because when everybody, like, we had our jokes because we was having fun in the moment, and that was it. But I didn't really hate J. Cole because I wasn't listening to J. Cole like that. We reviewed KOD. I thought that was a good album. I liked For His Eyes Only, but a lot of the Cole fans was like, Prince, you don't know what you're talking about. We hate that album. I was like, all right, niggas, whatever. I didn't like Cold World. I liked, Born Sinner. I actually liked that album. And then I told y'all about the other joint where he's sitting on the house, right? But you want me to tell you why people were so angry at J. Cole? Because I think the emotions got so hard, or they got so angry, saying that people went as far as to say J. Cole was never hip hop. I said, you can't do that, niggas.
Oh, no, they tried. Right? They tried to do that, and it's like, whoa,
well, we're doing too much. And the only reason why I'm saying that realistically,
joking on him and saying he shouldn't have bowed out after doing 7 minutes.
We can't sit up here. Yeah, we can't lie. And the reason why I'm saying that,
you see with the Fall Off magazine stuff, like J. Cole is so hip hop.
He's hip hop. He's the most successful
fucking hip hop.
He is the most successful pure backpack rapper hip hop has ever seen. All right, now. When I heard J. Cole spitting on that Money, Power, Respect instrumental, I got angry all over again. I wanted to see that Cole in the battle.
Mel said, Cole is Shakur Stevenson.
Also, too, by the way, let's get to OC's super chat. Shouts out to you, by the way. It says, Nas has a true love for hip hop and the culture. Jay is hip hop. His drive is business moves. Get wealth as being from the club room of hip hop. Very big difference. And it's funny, OC, that you're saying that. That had been an argument about Jay-Z and Nas for 30 years, damn near. In fact, remember when Nas went from Illmatic to It Was Written, the Illmatic hardcore fans felt Nas had sold out. You get what I'm saying? So It just depends. I think people get emotional and they get upset, they get irritated because people are passionate about hip hop. But I think people also, when they heard the way J. Cole was rapping on all of the features,
Birthday Blizzard was fire too.
And I liked it. Sitting down, we reviewed it, but a part of me did get irritated again because I thought we was going to have a Royal Rumble at the time with J. Cole, Drake, and Kendrick. But I said, you know what? That was probably for the best.
Because I put my banner up and moving on.
Yeah, because the way everybody was acting after the two niggas got into it, can you imagine three? It was for the best, but
also,
we'll see where it goes.
Choo said, I know Drake for sure writes. For me, I just don't like that he makes songs that were made in a style to appease and sustain the music label's need for profitability. Well, he regrets that to some degree because, he felt that UMG played him when it came to Lucien. He felt like he's brought so much money in for UMG, which is why we'll see what happens with whatever happens with his deal with UMG down the line. But
they all go through that somewhere though.
Yeah,
they all go through that because Eminem went through that when he decided to battle the pop stars, and then the back part of Eminem up under his career, on his records he regretted doing that, but the record labels thought it was more profitable for him to do those things, and it would separate him as a white artist from the Justin Timberlakes and all that because he was being lumped in with them. I don't know if y'all recall when M first came out with My Name Is and shit. He got lumped in with the Tom Green MTV.
To say that, though,
so he did all that scratching to get away from that.
That's
too.
what I respected Drake more than Eminem for, though.
Mm-hmm.
That I think is one of the reasons why he's still attached in hip hop, even when people try to kick him out, is because he was brave enough to do what Eminem should have did. Like Eminem, like, why didn't you battle some of these people? Why we have Drake battling Common, Rick Ross, Kendrick, Jay-Z. The list goes on and on and on, right? This is something that people...
And Eminem is a better rhymer than Drake.
This is...
As an MC.
A lyricist, right?
Yeah, as a lyricist. He's a better lyricist.
This is what a
than
lot
Drake.
of people from the underground thought Eminem was going to be doing when, he got into, the record labels, the mainstreams. They thought like, oh, but... It was really weird, to see someone it was incel music. Like when people cry about like Aiden Ross being incel and all that. I mean, the blueprint is Eminem. Like Eminem, like he was doing incel music. Like how many times we gotta hear you talk about you going to decapitate like some pop chick who's singing who's like 17 and 18. Like it was getting so boring.
Actually, when I got online
and obnoxious.
In real life, I didn't hear the conversations about Eminem being over Nas. But when I had got online, it was a talking point. And I was like, where are y'all from? Where y'all live at?
Who's making these conversations?
Yeah, where is this conversation? 'Cause I'm not hearing this in real life. That's not what I was hearing. And so with that being the case, I just think, I don't know. And I do think sometimes we actually do have a lot of people that are doing commentary. And I think they have their own perspective of hip hop, but they don't have a history of hip hop. They don't even have a history of hip hop from our own era. They have their perspective of what went on. So their perspective, for some of them, Kendrick ain't never been shit. He never had no hit. The fuck you talking about? He always been a conscious pro-black nigga, right? From their perspective, Drake ain't never been co-signed by no real hip hop nigga. From their perspective, J. Cole, he ain't never had a moment. You get what I'm saying? Versus the reality of the matter is that one of the reasons why the Big Three was a talking point, even though I never agreed with the shit, because I thought, I think these are the last guys from that era that their careers had went to these levels. But the reality of the situation is that they all cut a rug somewhere. They all got their special trick shot. They all got their special finishing move.
When people try to say GNX is a good, I'm like, how?
No, this is a good ass album.
The album is about him surviving people trying to wipe out his legacy.
Yeah.
And possibly even harm him. The album talked about gang politics. The album talks about how his pen got him through all of this. His pen was always his saving grace. It got him out of the hood. It got him out of a lot of dangerous situations. The gift of being able to write. I don't understand how people just think that, Gen X is just some type of party music. Yes, it's a victory album of Kendrick feeling victorious, him opening up to PG Lane, being able to do, what he wanted to do for a really long time with his close friend and business partner Dave Free. But people keep trying to make it seem like it's just a simple album. Like, we got gang politics in this album. We got him talking about people trying to erase his legacy. We have him talk about him being able to survive the harshest time in his life by being dedicated to his pen. I personally feel there was a lot of things, and also him actually seeming like he's embracing.
Yeah.
Some people may get mad, but seems like he's embracing a more corporate version of himself.
He is. What are you talking about?
Than other past albums where it seemed like to some degree it was not completely embracing that. We got a little bit of it on Damn, but on GNX it seems like I'm all the way embracing this now.
I never thought that nigga was Dr. Sabi. I think people thought they were hearing Dr. Sabi rap. I said, nah, that nigga, that's something else over there. I don't know what the fuck they talking about. So, yeah, no, he is saying he's stepping into his rap mogul enterprise in phase. This is he's going to go into the more corporate aggressive side of the game. And Kendrick Lamar did say that on I Want It All. I mean, not on I Want It All, I Deserve It All. I Want It All is Warren G.
Man in a garden.
Yeah, I Deserve It All with the Nas flip, right?
And then, go ahead. You want to say something else about it?
Oh, the only thing I was going to say, I was just going to respond to Mel here. Yeah, Cage, Everlast, Dilated Peoples had beef with Eminem, just no mainstream. And, I think Dilated Peoples is an understated group. I thought Cage was a decent rapper, but, the general public would hear those two type of white boys, Slim Shady versus Cage. I think they would have dismissed the battle. It was like two brothers fighting each other. But I think some of the more notable names is what garnered that appeal for Eminem too, because he did do it for clout.
Yeah, and then also listen to Iceman. I thought Iceman's story was interesting. Like he's basically saying on his album, they tried to JFK me, they tried to assassinate me, they tried to take my money away from me. That's why I want to see all of them broke. Everybody who tried to destroy a business deal from and to take money and food out of my family, I hope they can't pay their light bill. He talks about, even though this is a repeated theme for him throughout other albums, about people backstabbing him, people, intimate relationships where he thought these were people he can trust. Turns out he couldn't. He talks about also having to deal with the fact that it seems like certain people had turned their backs on him because they decided to ask for second opinions from Jay-Z. He also talks about understanding the fact that there's some people who say they don't like me, but they still love my music. And
that shit made me laugh when he said...
something that I just have to, accept the fact that there are people out here who troll me online, who try to get my attention, but they listen to
him.
They listen to most of my music.
These ain't no real niggas out here. Man, they fuck with that nigga everywhere. I keep telling that's why I say I don't have. That's why I keep saying about hip hop music need to do what they do. But the reason why I say I don't enjoy it because I think people be fronting for the internet. And when you go outside, I'm gonna be real with you. I hear that nigga being played everywhere. Even during the battle, I still was hearing Drake being played everywhere.
And what made me laugh, he was being really petty. Like the reason why Janet shut the fuck up made me laugh when he took about and the money just fall from the tree. It's like he's trying to troll people, the industry people who he felt from his perspective needed his stimulus package or features. He's like trolling them like, you're not gonna get this money from the money tree. He's like, the money tree for me is in, you're not gonna get it anymore. So he like trolling and all that with the cars.
Which it is true because Rick Ross did confirm that shit when he was over there with Ebro. He talking about when I was number one, we shared it. I shared it everywhere. I was like, Ross, you got a lot of great records with Drake. I don't know what the problem is.
And he talked about, from his perspective, the industry politics, where he feels people are trying to erase his legacy. What's interesting about the fall off, GNX, and also Iceman with Drake, one thing all three albums have in common is all three men, they're saying they have the tenacity to say, I won't let you erase my legacy. Drake said, you're not erasing my legacy on Iceman, and I don't give a fuck what anybody say. I am hip hop, and what is anybody going to do about it? Kendrick said, I want it all. I've already self-sustained. I've already done all the things I could to try to lead people and do the right thing with my music. You're not erasing my legacy. And you know what? I don't have to feel shame for raking up 10 Grammys. If people don't like it, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do what I do. And then Cole, on the fall off, he said, you're not erasing my legacy. Y'all can keep crying about 2024 all you want. I'm going to show you out of everybody, I'm the most when it comes to being a hip-hop purist. I'm going to do everything so souped up hip-hop, from magazines to the merch to the sneakers to putting everybody on in my state to, being intimate with the fans. I don't care what anybody say. You're not going to erase my legacy just because of what happened in 2024. So if you notice, one thing that all three albums have in common is that all three guys are trying to say,
I can hear me moved.
I'm here.
Yeah, that's all it is, and that's why I said you got to be careful when you stress yourself out, and you jump off the music and y'all go into these other spaces that's just going to make you upset. At the end of the day, these are generational shifts, and all three of these guys have grown into their own powerhouses, whether you fuck with them or not, right? And the previous powerhouse, at the very least one of them, because there's still a couple of them from the Gen X era, but most notably one could arguably say has been the most confrontational publicly, is Jay-Z. Jay-Z has traded shots with Drake back and forth. And the reason why I said I call bullshit on this rap scene, because even when you look at the industry podcasters, they sit on the couch and say they never had subliminals with each other. They never traded shots with each other. I said, see, y'all make hip-hop not fun. They make hip-hop not fun. Just like I just kind of thought at first when we got Like That, and then we got Push-Ups, and we got Euphoria. I thought, the battle was the battle, but then it got a little sticky afterwards. And then people didn't want to move around freely as much. It's still even happening right now, but I think they've all been able to do their thing. And, for all three of them to be alive and healthy and have had their 13 to 16-year run between all of them. Hell, even A$AP Rocky is still walking around here in his high heels. You get what I'm saying? So, I think my honest opinion about particularly with the blog era, whether you like any of these guys or not, I think overall, Big Sean, of course, Big Sean later on, because Kanye West yelled at him, put him out there like that, I think that hurt his feelings. But Big Sean has had a healthy career overall. Look what happened with Crit. Y'all got to understand, in 96 and 97, for what happened to Big Crit, you don't have a career. Nobody gets to hear no new music from you. There's a period where they used to just shelf niggas all day like the Big Crit. I think also, we got to be real, we're a little spoiled in this era. We're very spoiled in this era. You even having Jay-Z, whether you fuck with him or not, Jay-Z is 56 years old. That was never heard of. I wish you would tell a Gen X nigga in 96 that a nigga gonna be hot at 56. They gonna say, nigga, what?
Nigga who?
Nigga who? Like, y'all gotta understand, like, people are gorging out here. We done got so fat off of this rap slop at this point. Like, people been eating. It's a bunch of spoiledness out here. Bro, the nigga 56 on stage. Drake still kicking. Drake done been shot up more than a T-1000. He's still dropping number ones. Kendrick, he'll disappear for 10 years, come back, he'll shake up the game and go disappear again.
And then remember, we say
just to say this, and I'll say this last part. I want to hear what you got to say too. I want to put this final note. J. Cole could arguably have one of the most embarrassing moments in a hip hop battle, and still come outside with a dope resume, dope album, and look like he about to have a record breaking tour. Y'all niggas, y'all spoiled. Everybody's spoiled. This is a different era. This ain't. Come on, half these niggas would be gone.
Back in the day, once the industry shut people down, that's
it, y'all.
The industry is more fractured now, so it's like, you try to kill me, I'm still here, bitch.
Yeah. And no, man, it's a lot. I think it's just a lot of.
But remember,
customers have gotten. You know what I'm saying?
We said that
too many good deals.
We said Kendrick was going to dip more into the alternative hip hop sound, and then with the DJ album, he's going to have alternative sound.
It's called what is it? Alternative Black Boy.
Yeah,
with DJ Dahi.
Which I'm excited to when that come out to review all the tracks, including with Vince and Childish Gambino and everybody on there. But I do think that for the industry, people who think people are going to be emotionally intense in their investment in this, I don't think you're comprehending what's going on. People are paying attention to politics and things that are affecting them directly. Nobody has time to babysit adults in hip hop. They just don't, and some people get mad because that actually is the blessing for all the rappers, See, people had energy to cancel Nelly for the crack, swipe. People barely have energy to yell at Nicki.
No,
if Nicki would have been for George Bush, and she was hot during that time, and she said, I'm for George Bush or something.
Career over.
People would have had the energy.
Yeah, the career would have been over. They would have been burning her CDs in the streets.
No one has.
You ain't got nothing to burn. What you gonna do? Burn your subscription?
No one has any fucking energy to care about what industry people do anymore, unless they actually get caught when it comes to law.
Yeah,
okay.
I love it.
They arrested for sex trafficking. They're arrested for sexual assault. They're being arrested for murder. Unless any of those things happen, all people do is like, I'm just gonna ignore you if I don't fuck with you anymore.
Yeah,
they don't have the energy to keep running around chasing niggas anymore like people had. People back then had the time to be like, I'm canceling you, your bitch ass too. You.
No, that was the era. That's why I said realistically. That's why I say realistically, like, folks, y'all, hey, niggas are spoiled today. I'm gonna be honest, you damn near got a 60-year-old rapper on stage. Jay-Z and Big Daddy Kane are 1 year apart. Now imagine Big Daddy Kane having the run Jay-Z had. Like, I mean, like at some point, like, look, it is some privilege shit. Like, there's white privilege, but like with the rap shit, because it's like nigga privilege. G-Eazy can't skate up no hill. Jack Harlow can't take off nowhere. Eminem has been criticized severely for his history to the point where a lot of times he don't even get brought up in conversations about top MCs routinely. You even got niggas that have to fight for Eminem despite him selling 100 plus million albums.
They still worship him.
Worshiping is different than nigga privilege.
No, you
get what I'm saying?
They put Eminem always in the top 5.
By who though?
By all of them platforms.
Who owns the platforms? They'll say.
Yeah, but he.
You get what I'm saying? But I'm talking
Eminem get pampered all the time.
I'm talking about niggas in the streets. That's what I'm talking about. That ain't no conversation, and it never has been. And I'm telling you that for a fact from experience. All you industry niggas can sit on your couches. Yeah, y'all know the nigga. That's fine. That's perfect. But what I am saying is, y'all don't get this. Like Sim brought up. Bro, Nelly was on fire. He had 2 diamond albums. They got him out of here. When the industry had more control, you had to put up with a Mark Wahlberg and the Funky Bunch.
If Ye had put on a clan outfit in the 90s,
speak to it.
We would never see Kanye.
Say that again, Sim. Speak to that.
We would never see Kanye again.
I don't think y'all don't understand why we moved the way we moved. I don't think y'all get it.
To chase.
Y'all don't get it.
No one feels like chasing artists around anymore. We got other shit to do.
Yeah, I don't think they get it. I don't think people get it. Y'all saw it when you was younger. We saw the women stand up at Spelman and they said, that's enough.
Even sometimes people
Right?
got canceled for doing nothing.
Shit.
People got canceled back then even if they didn't do anything wrong.
Lauryn Hill. Her album, she sold 17 million records. They got her out of here. Wait a minute. I think she did 13 million. I think the Fuji album joint did 17 million. But nobody confirmed that Lauryn Hill was out here talking. They didn't have Lauryn Hill on camera talking like Khalid Muhammad, and they still got her out of here. Also, shouts out to OC. Hip hop needs a category for the hip hoppers who are in their 50s now. Actually, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Y'all saw when Max B was making light of Big Daddy Kane, and Big Daddy Kane looked like he previewed a verse where he looked like he was about to get at him. And then next thing you know, they showed them that they were on FaceTime together. I don't know. That's what the point is, y'all. I want y'all continue to have fun, but you do got to realize, if you understand hip-hop history, no LeBron James, most of the shit you're seeing in hip-hop, despite what's going on with the industry, couldn't happen before. We saw what happened with Ja Rule. We saw what happened with Nelly. You saw what happened with MC Hammer.
But also, I would say a lot of artists are trying to jump ship from certain aspects of mainstream. Not all the way, but they realize if I put all my baskets in corporate 100%, then I can get canceled.
That is true, yeah.
They starting to do other things behind the scenes.
Especially now that you got these dark equity firms that some of them are leaning towards, displacing black people and even in media. That's what they're trying to do, but they don't got the sauce. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to cap it off here on this note.
Well, we got to talk about Hillary and Bernie a little bit more. Although we'll have a part 2 to really go into the Bernie and Hillary Clinton.
Do you want to say anything? Because we hit the 3-hour mark.
They're at war. I know. They're at war with each other. It's DSA versus what do we call Hillary? And I know they call them corporate Democrats, but they're going at it.
Well, you got to remember with the Clintons.
They smell blood now.
When they had Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Planter got in trouble.
I don't know. I still
Plattner.
Yeah.
Plattner. Now that Plattner got in trouble, Hillary Clinton came back outside.
I don't know. It's looking like a switch, but
they both anti-black, but
Yeah. Well, also remember, here's the thing about it. I'll just say this, okay? I'm not trying to make this a 4 or 5 hour stream because we got some other shows for
Prince,
the rest of y'all.
Don't sound grumpy. Just 5 minutes talk about some Bernie and Hillary.
Are you black woman splaining?
Wait.
I can't be free in my conversations, but you can?
What do you mean though? You want to be free to be grumpy? Go ahead.
I'm not grumpy. I'm just saying. All I'm saying, I'm managing time. That's being responsible. It's not being grumpy because we got other stuff to record on too. So I want to manage our energy perfect because we got the rest of the week.
Fine, 5 minutes. Go ahead.
All right. Here's the thing, and I said this last week, and I'll say it again. Politically, the most dangerous group right now are scared white leftists and white progressives.
Don't taser me, bro.
And I'm going to tell you why. They don't have anything.
They have Peter Thiel.
Institutions are being deindustrialized. You're right, Sid. I'm going to get into that. They have sponsors, advertisers, and dark equity firms and people like Peter Thiel and Elon Musk. And just like they were pointing out and laughing at Tim Pool about those alleged Russia allegation, the whole Russia Gate situation, Tenet, and all of that stuff, they're doing the same thing. Brian Tyler Cohen had this whole situation that went on with dark money groups, and there were texts being exposed on the left about dark money groups. Some of these dark money groups said we don't want to include black people. And some of these struggling white leftists said, that's fine. We don't have to do identity politics because they're the switchblades.
Well,
so if you know who is overtly on the right is the right, and you assume white leftists are going to be that for what they are, they're the switchblades because the Peter Thiels. In fact, Peter Thiel had been bankrolling a lot of leftist groups for a long time, even when he got his backing or better contracts through Barack Obama.
Well, also to add to it, the interesting thing about this is a lot of the liberal white platforms that are pretending to be grassroots, they were all pro-Clinton.
Yeah.
Think about it. The Young Turks defended Bill Clinton. They got into a whole fat-ass war with Alex Jones, Cenk and Alex Jones got into a fight because Alex was protecting his guy.
Yes, he was.
And, the Young Turks were saying that Bill Clinton is not a rapist. The majority report. So now, all of a sudden, out of the blue, all of the industry pro-Hillary Clinton people, all of a sudden, just these grassroots, for the people politics. Yeah. I'm not saying that people can't change, but why are y'all still leading? Okay, so let me get this straight. The people who was against Hillary Clinton since day one are not only not in the forefront of this movement, they're in the back. But people who was completely enamored by Biden and the Clintons are in the front.
Well, you also got to keep this in mind is that
interesting.
Yeah, and you got to keep this in mind. Look, you guys are going to see it. And saying that, we talked about the alt left, years ago, 5 years ago. We say you guys got to pay attention to that. Nick Fuentes was a test run. Because if you kind of listen to his talking points, they're kind of like all over the place, but overall, it kind of typically sounds like some of the jargon you get out of the left.
And he was pro Epstein and Loomer. She knew and helped, build up Nick before he became a thing. So why is everybody who's a plant keeps getting supported in politics?
It's the money.
I'm saying, I'm asking the audience, why are people gravitating to people? They're not really, look, it's not even like, I'm not sure. You can obviously see it. You see him. He was groomed by Loomer. You see the Young Turks. They were pro-Clinton. The majority report pro-Biden. The list goes on. Crystal Ball has been in the industry. So, all I'm just asking is, why you keep going to people who, have always been a part of the problem? Now they're the answer?
Well, a lot of, I'm going to say this. Black folks are going to be tricked into dialoguing about white leftists and white progressives, and that's the trick. The trick is going to have you trying to convince or call out or talk about white patriarchy while they are going to make their deals. I want y'all to understand that. You can make all the videos you want. They're making their deals for themselves. You saw it during the campaign with Kamala Harris, and you saw the mood that the Democrats were going in when they wanted to talk about, look, I'm a Democrat, but I do believe in open carry. That's perfectly fine. And so do I. But I do think it's interesting that you guys are going out of your way to make it to be known as that. Remember, most of them were concerned with converting MAGA supporters and Trump supporters. They weren't really concerned about improving their base. They weren't concerned about improving where they may have dropped the ball with their already built-in base who just chose not to vote in 2024. Because that's really what kind of decided everything. Is that there were people, they was just so dissatisfied with, quote-unquote, the left. That was like, I'm not voting. And you can't shame me into it because y'all both suck. And y'all won't really have a real effective campaign. And my honest opinion, the fact that a candidate was given 107 days to run a campaign against a guy who's been in media and for 50 years, Donald Trump, it is disrespectful. It's very disrespectful. It's a slap in the face, honestly.
It's like when they went and Republicans, like people who want to be grassroots Republicans, like who was pro Ron Paul, and they're like, I believe Alex Jones. Why? The real guy who was really for y'all, he died and was killed, the one who predicted 9/11. And he said that Alex Jones was about fame and about himself and an alarmist. The dead guy is right. I mean, like, I'm just saying, like, can we just say if you fuck with someone because you just like them, you don't care if they're corrupt, you don't care if they're leading you to the slaughter, fine. You fuck with someone, I don't care. But can we not act like we're blind here? Like, some of these people are obvious. Some people, I feel like I understand why people get duped. I mean, like, yeah, okay, this person, that was really undercover. Great job. That was a really good job. But, like,
Nick Fuentes isn't undercover.
That's what I'm saying. Some of these people, though, are just so fucking obvious. It's like,
well, you got to remember,
what are we talking about?
It's the same reason why we said what we said about the Drake conversation, even the Jay-Z conversation. People want the money. They want the numbers. I keep telling you all, white liberal leftists are very dangerous because they're in a much more desperate situation generationally than their predecessors. You know, look at some of the guys that were, quote unquote, more edgier from the 90s that started out with damn near anarchist philosophies, or they were definitely on the left and they were definitely, quote unquote, yeah, man, we need to acknowledge what happened to black folks in America. Hell, Kid Rock is a great example. As they got older, they become more conservative. Now it's about far right, and you know what? We need to take our country back. But at least with the Gen X class, some of them were able to go to school and do the 2.1 kids and all this other stuff. Now, a lot of this shit got swiped in 2008, so that's where their anger comes in at. But if you're talking about a generation that had to grow up in a space of minimalism, and minimalist becomes a philosophy, that's even how you get to the idea of minimalist jazz with lo-fi, right? Schools, people not being able to go to schools, or they got to live with people, shack up with stuff. You got to be careful if you're not assessing the climate of your era, because for me personally, even some of the stuff I've seen, how fast Anna has switched on a dime wherever the check is, that's alarming. When I see Hassan Piker, when they felt they were up, any more radical blacks, that's alarming. You should pay attention to that.
He got mad at what? Because they were pointing out the Sudan.
Right.
Now, why are you going to lose your temper over that? Like, I get it if somebody was talking about something dumb. They was talking about people being murdered, mass genocide in Sudan. Why are you being a whiny bitch for something like that? And also, go ahead, because you said you wanted to finish a point.
This is what I'll say. The reason why I'm bringing that up, and you're right, Sin, I just want to illustrate this real quick. Hassan Piker, when he felt he was up, when he thought he was Cardi B and it was up and it stuck, he said, any more radical blacks. I watched that stream. I was like, man, you're a couple vowels away from dropping the N-word, right? When the progression was going, even with Plattner, they felt we don't need to listen to you all. Black folks online that are pointing all of this stuff out, some of you all are just roasting them, right? As you should. But some of you all are trying to plead and beg and explain, folks, if after you go into the dealership, they're nice with you. After you sign the contract and drive off and you call back, you're like, hey, on the way down the street, I heard some knocking in the engine. All right, we'll call you back. Bye. Well, that's how a lot of them had been acting, even with the Plattner situation. And Plattner, let's be real, he had holes all in his dirty drawers publicly, and they still was rolling with it because
like him being a wealthy kid.
I'm
proud to be American. Well, at least I know I'm free. Yeah. And I grew up broke like all of you, but I persevered.
It's because he didn't
And I'm glad to stand up next to you.
It's because he didn't shave.
I know. Yeah, they always good with the funky beard. Like people always.
He's rubbing his beard. Yeah, so I think that the movement needs somebody that has the same ideas as me. It doesn't have to be me, and we can move forward.
I'm gonna tell you,
you guys need to be careful.
I'm gonna just tell you what Prince and I always do before we leave. Sometimes people say we're not taking the opportunity. We've been here for years, okay? There's been so many things that look like great opportunities in politics. Could have been over there with some of the people that we've been talking about. Could have been over here in hip hop. Could have been over there. You want to know why we don't ride those waves and don't even be bothered with it or even go over there with those people? Because we always know when a crash is about to happen. I remember when people in the alt-right wanted us to, say alt-right talking points and ride the wave when it was like really heavy, go over there with the, the fake MAGA whites. I said, no, buddy, good. Y'all go do your scamming. Go ahead. We know that's going to implode. And Charlie Kirk also got shot in the neck. And before he got shot in the neck, he said, we about to go start crimes. Shot in the neck, right? We've seen all the scamming waves happen, and something always bad happens with all of them. And this is going to implode too. And you know what Prince and I are going to do? Watch.
Yeah, this is going to be implode. You guys are going to see it. Get ready for, you're going to see, because you've seen it with Emma Veglin. Kyle Kaczynski, because Kyle Kaczynski or Kalinski, I think that's his name, Kaczynski or Kalinski. Forgive me, y'all. But when India Ari said what she said about Joe Rogan, Kyle went on his platform and said, okay, Joe Rogan said a bunch of no words. That should tell you already what time it is.
And then he backpedaled, and you and I said, watch him backpedal, and he's going to start attacking Joe Rogan, and he did. Just like when Alex Jones was up, and there was some people in Alex Jones, who worked with him, who, we talked to from time to time, wasn't going over there either. And because we already knew, we're like, fat ass is going to get in trouble. He going to say some stupid shit, and he going to lose InfoWars. It's only a matter of time before it happens.
So you guys are going to be seeing talking points on the left overtly. That is going to be talking about disempowering the black vote. And you're going to hear some of your favorite leftist and progressive commentators start dog whistling because they got to beta test it with their audience. They got to test a little bit. But they're going to do it because they need the money, folks. You're talking about people that are running studios online and their platform is YouTube, but they're not getting the views. That's why in politics, when you see people jumping sides, it's because of the money. So you're going to see another grift that, remember the early joke about Blue MAGA? That was a test. Sen and I, we said they're going to be coming back outside about it because it's not going to be called MAGA. It's going to show up in its own ideology or iteration where you're talking about.
It's going to be, of course, it's going to be socialism wrapped up in a form of nationalism.
The National Socialist Party? Anybody?
Where did we heard that before? Why do you have Nazis on the left and the right? Ask that question.
The Nationalist. Hold on. Let's think about it. The Nationalist Socialist Party. Let's think about it saying. Wait, I don't know. Was it I don't know. That sounds so fucking
You
familiar.
know, it's also sound familiar. The Thule Society.
Yes.
What's going on with that?
Okay. So y'all get ready, and because there's going to be a new wave, you know what that means? New dark money. So you're going to see a lot of leftist whites come out and start antagonizing black political pundits that have some pull in the space.
That's why it's everywhere. Why you got black Nazis, Mexican Nazis, Jewish Nazis. The Bethany chick talking about she wrote a book on woke. Don't even know what it meant. God asked a question about Brianna. She asked her, okay, what's the definition of woke? What do you mean? She ain't know shit because she's a liar. She didn't even write that fucking book.
It was AI.
She supposed to be Jewish. She promoting Nazis. Look,
it's
at
everywhere.
the end of the day,
It's a grift.
you gotta understand, people who are a part of the industry cannot be trusted. Now, if you join their clique and possibly do their bidding, and if you want to make your money, yeah, you can make money. You know, of course, you can always make money. Go over there and make money. But the only danger is you stay there too long, you can end up like Charlie Kirk. You can end up in prison. So you always got to be careful because you get too greedy. Going in all them grifter spaces, you get too greedy. You don't know where you might end up.
Look at people having breakdown conversations. Look, watch. They're getting ready to try to compete for 2028 by trying to be Chipotle Nazis. And they're going to have those conversations. They're going to try to placate to that demographic, and they're going to try to continue to make black people public enemy number one. Yo, you guys think that that charmless asshole that came out and the one that said, black people on the left are defanging white leadership? No, they're actually going to keep rolling them out because that's off the back end of Nick Fuentes. And remember, people wanted to try to convert Nick Fuentes because of his following. Just like they said on CNN, they were trying to have a conversation with the Democrats, welcome Elon Musk back. The answer is yes. And if they got to ignore black people again to do it, they will.
But white people gonna suffer too. Keep putting fake people.
Well, that's the beauty of karma. That's the beauty of karma, because some people, even in this last election, did vote for black people to suffer, and a lot of white folks are suffering.
They think there's gonna be a successful Elysium. Okay, just to let you know about the people who believe in depopulation, they're killing you right now. Yes, including the white people. Yes.
I don't care.
Those chemicals that they have in the food that's fucking up your kidney and liver, is fucking up your hormones. You think they're just killing black people or Mexicans or this person? No, they're killing you too. So if you go look at the papers, don't matter what white utopia you think you're going to get, a lot of white people are going to die too. And your ass who think you are going to be getting the golden ticket, you're not. It's actually a very tight criteria for you to have a golden ticket in that Elysium that you think. Charlie Kirk didn't survive it. He didn't survive to end up in the Elysium. He didn't survive. Well, and there's a lot of people who think they just gonna dunk on black people or this and that, and they're not gonna survive either.
More importantly, too, just to put this out here, you guys, we're going to tell y'all what the campaign is going to be. You already seeing it. Remember, the left was blasé about the BIE report. Dr. Daryl Scott told us the left is over there with the far right, with Donald Trump.
That's why Dr. Scott said, I'm staying where I'm at.
So, look, I hate to tell y'all, but you guys are going to see it. A lot of your entertainers are already there.
Been getting money over there.
They've been getting money. So, for them, they're going to comfortably roll out. And some of y'all favorite white progressive pundits, you're going to see it. Emma, I already knew that because one time on the Majority Report, she slipped and said woke, all this woke stuff. And I was like, and then she caught herself. I was like, what was that? What was that? What was that, little girl? So, look, ace a spade a spade. For black folks, whether you're on TikTok or Twitter, be honest with yourself. It's a sundown town. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's a sundown town. That's what you're seeing in politics right now. And it's looking like the Watchmen series, you know? So are we going to get our reparations? Okay? That's what it's looking like. And it's just, that's what it is, you know? And you're going to see more of that because, remember, political punditry, this is not the space where back in the day Bill O'Reilly got a $300 million contract for the next 6 years to be on Fox. Those spaces don't exist anymore. Okay? What you're having now online is that people are being paid to jump their opinions for peanuts. And yeah, it is. I mean,
to your
because
point.
Anna went to the PBD shit and that flopped. Right? And then,
Flop.
And then now PBD is out here
Begging for money.
They begging for money.
Because he upset at the Jews. So
yeah, like,
remember,
come on.
Zionists used to give him good money. And he was talking all that. He allowed certain people on his show. So now, you know, the pockets, you know. But no, to your point, back in the day, a few people, they would get big money. You know, big money contracts, you know.
Yeah.
Now,
that's what
man, there's people doing propaganda for like you said, cheap.
Yeah, for cheap.
Like, damn, bitch. Like, if that's the amount of money you making to sell people out, like, what the hell you even doing it for? Go do something else.
That's why I said this is the most dangerous era for political punditry. You can sign somebody's soul away to turn against people for Domino's certificates.
Yo, bro, I just got a new deal. I'm just saying, yo, they paying me $1,000 a month, bro.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So anyway, I just gotta say, yo, I fuck with Plattner. Plattner is the truth. Farm oyster. He was in the military, so he understands how the military industrial complex works. Man, shut your stupid ass up. You know you don't give a fuck about no damn Plattner.
Well, again, you know, this is the most dangerous era for that. You know, and I do see some black political punditry and independent black political pundits, and I don't think enough of them have Tabitha Speaks energy. I think people just need to call an ace, a spade a spade. It's a sundown town. That's it. And they're already rolling out. Because, see, the little ugly farm boy that they put out there, and he was talking about we're being defanged, they're trying to see who they're going to get to kind of that looks better than him so they can roll him or her out there where they can have some charm for the public. Because, you know, the reason why it ain't working because he's not charming to the public.
I did respond to his post. He said, this is the corporate dens. I was like, did you or did you not say that black people and black leadership was defanging white liberals, bro? I don't give a fuck about nothing else you talking about right now.
He's dark.
Because you seem like a fucking plant.
Well, he is dark corporate money.
Yeah,
No, he's talking about the corporate Dems. He's dark corporate money.
You're a sleeper cell.
And also, I'll be real with you, even if you got some sense, all right, black, whatever. If you got some sense, I would unbind myself from a lot of these progressives right now. You guys are going to see a grand switch. That's what y'all about to see. Y'all saw how you saw how Jimmy Dore was out there and yeah, and guys, we need to acknowledge what's going on with racism. Then when the Trump money started coming in,
when he got his money, he switched.
Yeah, I don't care about, so what about, yeah, and we need to protect little white boy. You're going to see the same grand switch with the progressives and a lot of white leftists.
They use you to get their come up money, and y'all gotta stop it. Go make your own fucking platforms. Even if you get 500 views, it's gonna eventually accumulate. You know, you keep running to the same 5 people and then asking them to change. No, how about, you know, go somewhere else with your traffic. Go, you know, have somebody else do breakdowns, you know, from other backgrounds, different shit like that.
You guys are going to see a grand switch, all right? So that's a little bit more than 5 minutes. Are y'all taking calls? Not today. We'll take them tomorrow. So I understand, Ariel, but we'll start tomorrow. That'll be another hour, and we really got other stuff to
Prince
get to.
trying not to do that 6 hours that he dragged me to do last time. Remember you had on Saturday, we did 6 hours.
It was your idea, though.
So what?
All right.
It wasn't my idea for 6 hours.
Don't switch. Don't switch, Sid.
It wasn't my idea for 6 hours. We were supposed to go on for an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah. But just to let y'all know, you guys are going to be seeing a grand switch publicly. You're starting to see a little bit of it. Anna's the first wave of it. Nick Fuentes is the first wave of it. By the time you guys get to November and December, you're going to see an overt, darker grand switch. Hassan Piker be jumping out there too early. He think it's time to take the cape off. See, vampires. Oh, okay. No, there wouldn't be no real socialist movement in this country if it wasn't for black socialists.
I can't wait till I get these blacks out my fucking face. I mean, I'm so sick and tired of having to pretend to be okay with them.
Oh, yeah. At least with the Gen Xers, see, it took a long time for Bill Maher to get to this point. But
I
he
never
was
liked y'all. Sorry.
Yeah, right. But with the millennials, it's going to be quicker because you have less resources.
Yeah. And
it's going to be much quicker.
Anna don't have the patience. She's like, I don't know how to talk to black people. And,
I don't care.
Y'all was super racist after George Floyd situation.
Yeah.
But you say you're against Israel, and Israel was training cops that ended up harming certain people,
and that's off the back end
in the community. Right.
That's also off the back end of a lot of the police force intentionally hiring veterans that served in Afghanistan that even have done 2 and 3 tours. So they're going to have PTSD. They're going to be a little bit quicker to make certain things happen.
I'm just going to watch the train wreck because there are going to be some really bad things that's going to happen to some of the alt-leftists as well, because remember, you're always a prostitute to somebody else.
Also,
so if you are any of these people that we're talking about, don't sweat it. They're being pimped. They got a pimp, and their pimp got a pimp, and that pimp got a pimp, and all these people are getting pimped. And I mean, it was actually, did you see how bizarre it was?
What's that?
To see how dumb Charlie Kirk was, like before he died, when he was talking to Ben Shapiro, and he started to finally realize a little bit, I'm a slave.
Yes.
I
know you're white, but yes.
Ben, all I'm saying, man.
No.
Is that
I know.
What's going on in Gaza? I'm just asking questions. And Megyn Kelly, we're pro-Israel. We're very pro-Israel, Ben.
He's right. He's asking questions, and they answered it for him.
But his eyes, there started to be a little light in it. He's still dumb, but it was like a little bit.
Yeah, to be fair, he was groomed. So, it is what it is. Like, I didn't respect nothing about him, but I get what people are saying, and I get what you're saying. But for the left, you guys are going to see it.
He was over there with the left, though.
Yeah, he was there.
The old left. I mean, we saw Gavin was trying to sneak his tall ass over there.
Yeah, but I'm saying for right now, you guys are going to see them look to, because, really what they want more than anything else is power. And they heard all of those stories with Red Skull Platinum. They heard all of those stories. They wanted power. When people want power, nothing is rational.
Like Tali.
Yes.
Like, why didn't they want him? He's been pro Palestine, even lost all of his credentials in that space. He's also against Nazis. You could be both. You could be against what's going on in Gaza and also still be against Nazis. And, guess what? And you don't have to be anti-black. Yeah. But all the people who've been consistent with that, back of the bus they go.
Because they need to be anti-black.
There you go.
But they'll be screaming about what's going on everywhere else. That will be something y'all need to pay attention to. See, they got everybody hocked up on MAGA juice. MAGA, 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 MAGA. That's it. I don't care. Because, I mean, as long as I've been growing up, I've been seeing people run around in the political spheres cutting up. You're going to see people on the left be pro-protect everybody else in other regions around the world, but anti-black.
Yeah.
And they're going to stand firm on that. Again, Anna is the blueprint. So you're going to see it. And when black people on TikTok, because I've watched some of the videos have been funny. There's really been a lot of black people just roasting. But there are black people like, y'all didn't see the signs. I said they saw them. They don't care about that. As long as they don't have to talk about you. As long as they don't have to talk about anything with black folks. Again, also people want to get off the train. They feel like, well, remember, black people is not America's mammy. Black people can't mammy America. They wanted black people to make magic happen in 2 weekends with Kamala Harris. And because this tells you the level of entitlement,
that was
the setup, it was all a psyop. And so now, because they didn't get their Obama moment with Kamala,
she wasn't going to get it that.
She wasn't going to win. I know, and I know because we're not making fun of people. We had dejected people the next day in the live stream, and I told them, I said, guys, she had 105 days or 107 days to run against somebody that was a former president that has been in media for 30 plus years. She wasn't going to win, and she had people in her own party undermining her publicly. In fact, listen, okay, Sid, before we get up out of here, Gavin Newsom used the opportunity in 2024 to elevate his political profile.
Yeah, she said that in her insinuated that in her book. They're all sharks.
And publicly around that time, Gavin Newsom had a podcast, and the first 3 guests he had on there were from the far right.
Well, on the Epstein files too, because Steve Bannon's
right?
in the Epstein files. But yeah, they all sharks, including Kamala. Kamala got played.
Oh no, Kamala's not a lamb.
She wasn't paying attention, but she's gonna try to do it again though. She's gonna come back outside and try.
Okay, and I'll say this. Gavin Newsom already showed you who he was dancing with behind the scenes, as with the rest of the Democrats, right? And that philosophy you're hearing about, because they're going to look for a candidate that's going to, quote unquote, speak to the angry white males, all right? So that's just it. So as far as Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, and Bernie's picks have been kind of crazy, the Tulsi Gabbard, all the way down to where we are right now.
Real quick to remember, though, to the people who are supposed to be pro-Palestine, how are you pro-Palestine when you keep falling for this? Bernie Sanders is for the state of Israel, so what are y'all talking about? Number one. Number two, Tulsi went over there and shook her ass for the people who are attacking Iran right now. So y'all did all that caping for that bitch for nothing. That's some just like waste of energy. But we spent an extra 30 minutes with y'all. We appreciate y'all and love y'all. And make sure y'all go to our Patreon to check out our 2-hour conversation breaking down PFG, Pretty Face, Gangsta, and J. Cole, Never Say Die.
All right, y'all. Y'all take care. We are out. Peace.
That's enough. Put down the mic.
CRIMEZ. CRIMEZ.
And I sing because I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow.
Oh my God, what's this?
And I sing happy. And I sing happy. And I sing happy. And I sing
We are all the same. We are all the same. More group
Coming through your airwaves. All right, now I'm here to kick the ballistics. Check out Thought Crimes. Are you following me? Coming through your airwaves. Coming through your airways. You ain't gonna get me with that one.